Listen, folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here. I know.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you?
What is up? Truth and transparency.
Who's responsible
what is good? What is good? Happy. What
Who's
is
responsible
Tuesday?
here? Whose house is this? Yeah, I haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, drive careful, okay?
What is it? Members, subscribers, moderators. What is good? I've been slaving over here. Don't worry about it.
This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car. And the other one.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay. They all knew about it. What is up? Got a special announcement before we start tonight, but special announcement. To the transparency, myself, there we go. Got so many things going on here. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Second of all, I want to show you guys one of the new hottest tickets, part of the team. Let me show you. Let's see if I can get there. Let's go like this. I want to use the right clip. If you guys like follow true crime, you guys should know all about this.
5 seconds since it ended.
Next slide.
And then at 8:54 and 44 seconds, the orientation to landscape ends.
And next.
At 8:55.
Experience in law enforcement and then cell phone forensics.
Sure. So from 2004 and 2016, I was employed by the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office. It's a full-service sheriff's office located in Cleveland County, North Carolina, there on the border of North and South Carolina. During that time period from 2004 to 2006, I was a patrol deputy. In 2006, I was promoted to a corporal or training officer, where I trained new hires. In 2009, I was promoted to detective. In that capacity, I handled everything from larcenies to murders. And then I took on the role of the digital forensic examiner for the sheriff's office. Was the first one that we had, and I formed the digital forensics lab at the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office.
Boom, boom, boom. Welcome to the team there, Micah Sturgis. You guys, if you guys watch the Alec Murdaugh trial, you guys will know who that face is there. He testified on behalf of the defense for the digitals when it came to Alec Murdaugh's and the rest of everybody else's cell phones. He was brought on late in the game in that case, but I've had the privilege to personally get to know Micah, and fabulous human being. And Micah, one of the best in the business, if you want to talk about breaking down extractions. He has the experience. His CV is just, I mean, it speaks for itself. And when I said I wanted Scott Roeder to do the crime scene reenactment for Dr. Daniel Lee Moore, I also wanted somebody that was just as powerful to do everything that had to do with the phones that had to do with this case. Jennifer Drake's phones, Brian Drake's phones, Daniel Lee Moore's phones. Right here, this is, I believe, who's going to be the GOAT when it comes to the he's going to be the person that destroys ISP. Let's just put it that way. What I've done, and we're going to talk about it today, is we're going to talk about the movements of Brian Drake, his last day alive. What I've done is I've gone through, because we never know what apps track us. We don't know anything about that until after the fact, when you're like, holy shit, I didn't realize that I'd signed in on my Google account, and that once I've ever signed in on there, like literally everything I do is tracked unless I somehow get in there and I take it out. But this guy is going to tell me how the fuck somebody makes a 911 call and it not be on their phone records. It not even be on the dispatch records. How does that happen? I said, I got one for you, Micah. I'm going to test your abilities. He was kind of enamored with the whole, this case, to be honest. But Micah is like myself and all of you guys that watch this channel, innocent until proven guilty, and everybody deserves a defense. And not just any defense, but the best defense. That's what it's all about. So this is my go-to.
And before we get more into digital forensics, you've been involved in murder investigations before?
I have, yes.
Okay. As a lead detective?
As a lead detective, yes.
And then as you go into digital...
That
People that say that I'm not.
distance isn't
There we go. Check this out.
data logs a step. So independent upon where the device is on, if it's on your waist or in your pocket, or you're holding it in your hand when you're walking, that movement of the accelerometer indicates those steps.
And what does, how does it come up
Hi,
with
Nancy.
the distance that goes?
17 months. We got
that corresponds with those
twins.
steps?
It uses the satellite's GPS.
And what does the start and stop times, what do they mean?
So in the Apple Steps or Apple Health data here, you see, for instance, entry 26, that the between the times of 7:55:32 and 8:05:07, that 270 steps were taken during that time period.
Okay. Now, do we know when in that time period the steps occurred?
We know that and at 8:53 and
Let me tell you why I wanted Micah on team Lana right here.
Next.
at 8:53 and
Can you hear?
at 8:49:26
You can pull the
seconds.
mic closer. Please.
Sorry. At 8:49 and 26 seconds, that's the last text message that was read by Maggie. It was indicated read on the device.
Next.
All right, perfect right there. The last known text message that was read on Brian Drake's phone was 8:16. I'm sorry, was after 8:16. His son had sent him back-to-back text messages at 8:16. And when they went ahead and did the Cellbrite dump, I noticed that it said that it was read. I said, how does a dead man read? You know, you have to actually like have your phone, open it, those type of things. I said, how does a dead man read and open his phone? I know that this had happened between 8:16 and 9:52 p.m. But I said, okay, I know all of this shit, but guess what? I want to give all of my research to the best. So that's what I went ahead and did. Let me do all your work, and then I want you to nail it. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So welcome. We're talking about Brian Drake case. This is if you guys wanted to see how I believe the Idaho 4 case will go, you want to check this clip out. When we're talking about everybody's phones in the Idaho 4 case, you move it, you tilt it to the right, somebody moves it, somebody walks with it. This is what,
At
this is what
8:49
a
and 28
visual
seconds, the backlight goes off.
phone expert
And what
forensics
does that mean?
can tell you when
Means
you get
that,
all the
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 screen.
material.
screen's dark, yes,
the
sorry.
data.
And next.
At 8:49 and 31 seconds, the phone locks and it remains locked until it's recovered by law enforcement the next day.
See how, like, boom, phone locks and remains locked until recovered by law enforcement the next day. Well, that gentleman will be taking the stand, if it even is necessary, to say that that's not what happened with Brian's phone. Brian Drake's phone, after he was dead and the doors kicked in and law enforcement was there with body cams, his phone that was supposed to be just laying there and not being touched, utilized, moved in any type of way, it was not only moved, but it was open. It was, somebody was like, okay, let's get into the phone and do this, that, and the other. Now I'm going to show you guys how I did this. All right. First of all, UTC time is a universal time. It just depends on what time zone you're in to see how you're going to go ahead and actually apply this. This murder happened to be the Pacific, West Coast time. But if it is right after daylight savings, okay, then instead of subtracting 8 from the UTC time, you only subtract 7 hours. Okay, that's number one. So I'm going to go ahead and use Hector here to show you something. Stop screen, bring screen in before we get down to the good goods. Come here, Hector. Tonight I'll be taking you guys, if you guys are hanging out with me late night, we are going to Easton at midnight to check it out. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you guys. This is just a sample. Okay. Take a look. Oopsies. This is in UTC time. Okay. So UTC time, what you have to do, if you ever see something like this in an extraction, I'll teach you guys. First of all, what you're doing, you got to take it out of military time. And that would be it's 5:16 and 35 seconds. But it's 7, you have to minus 7 hours. Okay. And so you have to change all of that within it. Then you have, this is your longitude and latitude. Then you have, was it on Wi-Fi, GPS, or was it on or you could see cell, CELL. Okay. Now let's go ahead and there's just so many pages. Where should I start? We'll start with the day. These are from, they shared a Google email address, Brian and Jennifer. And also Brian was on a Life 360 plan. So was Jennifer, but the police didn't go and get Jennifer's Life 360. They said, we don't need that. I said, why? Whatever. We'll see how that plays out. All right, here we go. I went ahead and converted these. Brian Drake. That is actually 6:16 a.m. This is when Brian Drake will begin to travel from Hayden, and he will head north to Bonner's Ferry, where he will arrive. I have to go through all these lovely sheets. $706. It literally goes all of it because his phone was being tracked to the point that right there. Mr. Brian Drake arrives at his office in Bonner's Ferry, 7:39 and 19 seconds. Woo! Lana, how did you do this? I don't know. I taught myself it, and then I said, let me just go get an expert to make sure that my last 10 days of cramming pays off. So there it is. Guess what? That is so accurate that his Life 360 app has him arriving there as well. So Brian wakes up in the morning, kisses his wife, well, probably, hopefully, and then heads from Hayden to Bonner's Ferry. And you're going to take 95 the whole way. And it's roughly an hour and 23-minute drive. Okay. So here we go. And when you do the lat and long, if you go ahead and you pump it into a system, that's going to come out to being, he is 100% at 6811 Main Street, Bonner's Ferry. That is his address. Now, I'm going to teach you guys something. Here we go. See these last, look at those last four. See those last four. Now, they're on, this is from the same email address that they shared, so they could both get into the email address and see this at the same time. Both of it was both on their phones and uploaded on their phones in the app of like Google Gmail. So when you hit the Gmail app and you would actually like read through your emails and whatnot, you'd be amazed at what can track you. This is how he, not only he, but Jennifer knew that her phone would be tracked because everything tracks you, right? So I want to show you guys what is called a device tag over here. His, hers. There's only two tags, meaning it's like it's almost like an IP address. That is to identify your device. Okay. So throughout this, I can back up. Let me back up. It literally goes, but you have to read it up. You don't read it down because the way that it's downloaded. So it starts from the bottom of the page and it goes up to keep going forward in your day. But I'm able to then take Brian Drake coming and arriving at his office right here. And then I compare that to surveillance cameras that has his vehicle going over and traveling on 95. Now, what I thought was interesting is I like to pay attention to what people are doing the days and weeks leading up to. Everybody knows that digitals is everything. Like if you're going to commit a murder, leave your phone at home and stuff like that. But if you're going to leave your phone at home and it's just always going to be, just at home, and you're normally a person that's like leaving and taking your kids to school, going and doing this and doing that. So when you go ahead and you just leave your phone at home, then that's going to look suspicious in my eyes, and probably to a lot of other people. That says, when you're looking at them, there's their text messages and they say, hey, me and Brenner, we're having lunch together. And this is a picture that I took from us eating of his sandwich. Okay. And I sent it to somebody to say, me and Brenner were out at lunch on this day. Okay. So I'm going to dig through every single spot that you went through all day to see if I can go ahead and pinpoint that you were somewhere for a long period of time. That's a place that you can even eat at, and B, if it's reflective of the same time period of when you said that you ate lunch with your son. Now, the police, ISP did nothing. So they just went and got these search warrants and they did nothing with the returns. They basically just have the material and they never used them. So just for everybody to understand that. Here we go. So, no. I went ahead and I looked at Brian Drake's schedule for his patients that day so I can compare some things and see how all of these are negative, like the right here, except for this one. It's all the same device, just except for that one. What you can then go ahead and look at is, so 2-9, I'm going to zoom in here. Oopsies. Okay. Phones in the same location. 2989, 2989. See that? Now right here, see it says 47 and then the 74716686. You'd think to yourself, oh wait, it just moved a location. No, that's the other phone. See? So then we're back here. See 2989, 2989, 29. Right here, phone moved. Literally moved. Whether it's a couple steps, literally moved. That could be the phone's in your pocket, the phone's in your hand, but you moved to the point of 2989, 304. Then you walked back into the position that you were before, 2989. Then you moved again, 3065. Then you moved slightly a little bit more, 3203. This is the other device. 3018, 3032, 3031, 41, 41, 42, 44. See how you could see movement? And then the timing here, 7:39. So you have 7:39 and 33 seconds, 7:39 and 50. Get all the way up to here and you're 7:42 and 11 seconds. Again, this is all AM. What it shows is that this phone, if it was just sitting on your desk, okay, if you were to get like a text message or if you were to get any type of communication command sent to your phone or sent from your phone, and it's in the same position, same spot, it's going to see how it was in the same spot, right here. 8989898989. So if you're whatever it may be, you could be receiving an email, you could be any type of command incoming to you or outgoing to you, it's going to trigger. Then what you have to see here is, let's see. Well, we'll come back to this part, but this could be somebody from walking from one side of their office to the other side. This could be Brian Drake walking from his office then to his patient room, his waiting room. This could be walking to the bathroom in his building. This could be walking to his vehicle parked right outside. It depends on how big and substantial the movement are. But when you punch these coordinates in, it will then drop you down. Okay. Now check this out. Brian Drake had his first patient at 8 a.m. I'm sorry, 9 a.m. And I think he squeezed in a woman and her 2 children. But anyway, you slice and dice it. He was at his building in his office by 7:40. The thing that I thought that was interesting is that he wrote his second client that day. He texted him and said, hey, Brandon, I'm running late. And I thought when I first had seen it that he was running late in terms of driving from Hayden to Bonner's Ferry, like that, he woke up late or something like that. No. Yeah. This is UTC time, honey. UTC time. You got to subtract 7 hours. We already talked about that. Again. If it wasn't daylight savings, you would subtract 8, by the way. So the reason, though, that he had to tell Brandon that he was running behind is there was an issue with a homeless man that morning and some other things, but we'll get into all of that. Anyway, you slice and dice it, our boy Brian Drake is there. Now, $7:45. Then all the way, I'm going the wrong way. Hold on, 7. Whoopsies. I am. Yes, here we go. Oopsies. Okay. 8:09 a.m. This is the phone that's in Hayden. That would be Jennifer Drake. Then CS says 303:37. That's Brian. Look at 303:37. That phone's in the same spot. That phone has moved a little bit. And I already went ahead and paid attention to where all of this is going. 3:25. This is actually in his office. Now that's all Jennifer's phone. All of those are hers. And this is at the park right behind their house, off to the right a little bit. That takes us all the way to 8:34 a.m. Sorry, just trying to keep my stuff in order. Next up, anything good? Little movement. His phone. Little movement from that position to this position. See 325. 3025, 3025 in the same spot. Right here. Moves back to a different spot. This is going to be right on his desk, guys. That's what I've determined. That or like literally like right on the floor by his desk. So we get all the way here. We are to 9 o'clock in the morning. Nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Until we get to, let's see. Uh, 3049, 3049, 3059. See, moves. 3047. 3047. So I'm just trying to show you guys how it goes. So now let's get to some pumping stats. This will be the first time that you see, instead of a GPS or a Wi-Fi, you see the word cell written and you see 2500. This means this activity is hitting off of cell tower that they're labeling 2500. Okay. And this first happens at 11:15 and 44 seconds. And it is registering at 6680 Stevens Road. And it is there and hitting off of this cell tower. This is Brian Drake, 11:32 and 42 seconds. So from this point, 48, his activity is hitting off of cell tower versus his Wi-Fi where he is or in his office, as well as driving GPS. That means that there is something different in his pattern here. It could be that he is using his phone and he's actually using the cellular towers, or he could have left his office, drove somewhere, and utilizing his cell phone, and therefore it's heading off of a tower that's in that area. Make sense? Perfect. Brian Drake he's back here driving 11:32 and 48 seconds. If you follow this, see back at that 3025, see how he's walking and getting there. We'll go back to Jennifer's later. So 3025, 3025, 3025, 3025. His phone is in the same spot right there. So from 11:32 and 48 8 seconds. His phone is in the same spot. Let me go ahead and back that out. There is a bar in the area. Remember, Mr. Drake had alcohol in his system. So boom, boom, boom. And then once you get right here at this time, phone stays in the same spot, 12:09 from roughly just a little bit after 11:32 and 48 seconds. So see 3025, 3025. It's just like literally sitting on his desk, or could be sitting in his back pocket, I guess you could say, while he's sitting on his chair. But let's take a look at this. See that? Still in the same spot. So it's now 12, 11, and 20, or 12, 14, 12, 15. Because again, this has to be changed. I change it usually at the top and at the bottom. 302 right here moves. Uh, 2857, 2857, now 3036, 2642. So he's walking around now 3025, 3025, back in the same spot before. And I'm saying it's his desk, but 3025, that's what makes the most sense. 3025, then here again, now we're hitting on 1230 and 3 seconds. Using a cell tower. Again, this is Jennifer, or if she changed her phone with somebody, whoever has her phone, that's where they're located. And we'll get to that after we do his. And then I'll show you the interesting parts. Ready? 12:30 and what was it? 3 seconds there? 7 seconds? 7 seconds. Here's Jennifer on a cell tower. Brian, though, 2427, 2427, same spot. Now back in his desk location, 30225, 3025, 3025, 3025. There he goes. He moves again. And if you pay attention, what do we got here? 1242. And 24 seconds to in the same spot. Now it moves. His as a chiropractor, his sessions are usually like 15 minutes increments. So think about this. You're sitting at your desk. You got to jot down your chart. Then you got to get up from your desk. You got to walk on over, and then you greet your patient that's in the patient waiting room, and then you bring them into, you say hi to them, and you walk on over, and then you bring them back into that room. They get into that little table. and then you're performing your adjustment, and then they get up out of the chair, or if they're laying down, they get up out of that. And then as they're walking, out, you may walk them out. So think about how he's moving. And this is what it's this is what it's mimicking. I do know this. I do know that Brian Drake had a 7 or 8 minute phone call with his, he tried to call his wife's phone. She didn't answer. And then he called, or if she did, or somebody did, they said, call my phone, because then he ends up calling Brenner's phone. And that's where he has a 7 or 8 minute phone call. So I think that that's interesting. What I mean by that is that I believe Brian Drake attempted to call his wife, right? And he was only on the phone for like 3 or 4 seconds. And then immediately after that, he calls then his son's phone and then talks for 7 or 8 minutes. What's interesting to me with that is that that could be what you call an oops throughout the day, where it's something that you weren't planning on happening. And then you had to kind of cover for it, which is, oh, me and Brenner were out to lunch together. And then making it seem like to somebody like that you were with him. But what I truly think happened, and it is possible, is it possible that Brenner and his mom changed phones? Maybe, maybe not. But what I think is interesting is that I would love to know where Brenner and his mom went for lunch that day. She took a picture of her food, of her food, and sent it to somebody and said, this was me, or this was Brenner's lunch today. Out of the fucking blue. Like, not a picture of her and Brenner eating or like a selfie. It was just, she took a picture of food, which we don't even know, it could have been from months ago, but she sent it to a friend to say, and that's how she was claiming that they had lunch together. But when I go through this with her, I can't find where this lunch happens, So I'm just curious where Jennifer and Brenner had lunch that day. And I'm curious who paid for it. I'm curious how they paid for it. Nobody was expecting Lana to come along and fucking do this shit. So this is straight up GPSing shit. This is straight off of, if you guys have an app like Gmail and you open it and you're using your Gmail as an app, and you get notifications sent to you for whatever reason, your Gmail, since you have notifications on, you probably didn't even know that, anytime that you're driving, anything that you do and you're moving, it's tracking you. And that's it does a it inserts itself into a timeline transaction. And that's what I'm breaking down here is, I don't know if these people knew that. So what I think is hilarious is that let's get closer to the time of the crime, and you guys are going to see that you guys, I'll just let you guys be the judge and jury. But right here, 1:13 and 40 seconds. That would be a Brian Drake utilizing a cell tower at 1:13 and 40 seconds. Right here, which was 1:09 and 33 seconds. See how he's in his office right about there. Let's see. Cell tower. Where are we at? How I realize this real quick, when you do this longitude and latitude, you think to yourself, oh, Brian's driving over to this location to go ahead and make a phone call. No, that's just the cell tower. That's what that is. Cell tower. And then see immediately here. So 1:18 and 52 seconds using that cell tower. Then 1:19 and 45 seconds. Now, what it also means, though, it doesn't mean that he's running to this location. Okay, it just means that he's utilizing the cell tower. And we'll let Micah talk about all that one day. I'm just simply tracking people. What else we got here? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Just to show you. So 2:34 p.m. and 37 seconds now. See how it's at 32:07, 32:07. See 32. It moved a little bit. So the point is that when you're looking at this and you're able to see that this phone is even moving in the slightest, it's making steps, right? So it would surprise anybody that if a guy is supposed to be shot down and laying and can't move at 7:26, how is his phone running all over, right? So let's take a look at that time frame. Or close there to it. Well, I do want to point this out, though. The longest that I see Brian's phone staying in the same spot here, when I don't think that it should, is 4:02 and 43 seconds. Right there, he's 3:02.5, 3:02.5. See that? And when you keep on going, 3:02.5, then watch this. So it's at 4:02 p.m. Now here you are at 4:11, same spot, right? 4:19, same spot. All those spots in between, okay, they're in the same, like 3:02. Every time you look at his phone, it's in that spot. Boom, boom, boom. So 4:19 and 52 seconds, 4:19 and 27 seconds, 4:19 and 12 seconds, 4:18 and 56 seconds. And I said to myself, why, like, what's going on that it's, that it seems like it's notifying me that it's in the same spot for an extended period of time? Well, it should be noted that, 'all the way to 4:19 there. So from 4, then it's same spot, 4:20, 4:34, same spot. $4:44, same spot. It's a long time, though. $5:04. Boom. Finally moves at 5:14. So Brian's phone stays in the same spot from 1 hour and 14 minutes. That's the longest that it ever stays in the same spot up until that point that day. He has 15-minute intervals for his appointments. So what I went ahead and I made a mental note to myself, and I said, okay, let me put down, 4 to 5:15. Like, what the fuck was going on? Did he just leave his phone because his wife tracks the fuck out of him, and he decided that he didn't have an appointment until that time, or somebody, what was going on? So enough that I made my mental note that from 4 to 5:15 p.m. I think that it's worth noting that Brian's cell phone stays in the same spot for that period of time. And then you want to go ahead and look at his schedule that day. And was he taking patients? Was there no patients? What was going on? So I note stuff like that. All right. Now we're getting to the crunch time of the day when he has his patients that are supposed to be coming through. Let's take a look. Paul Jacobson. He was supposed to have a 5:45, 5:30 appointment. And then we have Aldora Gatchel. Remember, she's coming in. She's at 6 o'clock. Okay. So 3068, 3079, 3079. So it moved from being sitting down, okay, or where I believe, his office, sitting on like the desk. So it moved 3079, 3079, now back at his desk. So if you look at that, it's 44. I'm sorry, 34. 514 and 44 seconds. 22, 24, 24, 25, 26, 28, 30, 31, 33. So 5:34 and 44 seconds. Again, this is UTC. You have to convert it. And then Paul Jacobson said that he was running behind, meaning that Dr. Drake was. So here's phone sitting on his desk again. 302, 302, 3025. And then moves 3022 at 5:54. So this is when I believe that he walks slightly out. Paul Jacobson will then be coming in. See, 2948, then back at his desk for his phone. Okay. So I believe that Paul Jacobson then is inside the room with him at 5:55 and 40 seconds. See, 3025, 3025, 3025, 3025, 3025. Okay. 3025, 3025, 3025. Now, let's go back and look at something. I refuse to go off of Aldora saying when she arrived at a place. Okay. So Aldora says that she arrived at Doc's office at 6:03. There would be no reason for Dr. Drake to be in with Paul Jacobson. I have Paul Jacobson walking out and leaving based off of his phone records at 6:15. So again, $550, $555. $605, $606, $607, $609, $611. Right there, perfect. Look at that. Same. He moves. I'm sorry. That wasn't his. He moves here. On his desk. Moves right there. Remember how Jennifer Drake said she called at 6:42 and her husband said, "Oh, I'll call you right back. I'm with a patient." Remember that? Let's go. Wait 1 second here. So 6:44 in 9 seconds, his phone moves. So he could be going all over doing whatever, but his phone physically moves from the spot that it was in, and it gets picked up and moved physically at 6:44. Then it moves. See 3091, 3019 rather. Then right here, 6:55, 3027. 355. He still has his phone moving. 686 3061. And then I went ahead and totally GPS the shit out of this one. This is at 706. And this has him outside at his car. All right. So remember, he said he got shot through a window. Well, the GPS on this, if you go ahead and GPS it and do the lat long, this is outside. Then at 7:07 in 7 seconds, how crazy is that? Look at that. People that believe in crazy numbers. Again, 3061, still outside in like the brush area. Then 48 number. Okay. 3025. Now his phone is back. So let me explain this to you guys. He is outside and moved 30661. Okay. And he is not in his office at 3061. Then at 7:17 in 07 seconds. Okay. This is when the infamous phone call starts. And look, it's back on his desk. It's like somebody called. Okay. And this is what's weird. At 7:17, that phone call takes place. And here he was outside. So anybody that says that he was, he watched his patients, leave and be done. Eldora, y'all asses were done by 7:06. How do I know this? Because this motherfucker picked up his phone. He was done. All right. And he clearly moves from where he was at his phone being on his desk, him picking it up and him beginning to walk. This is also consistent with the back of his sweater having all that fucking shit all over it, the debris, which is consistent with him being on the ground outside. How do you have your sweater all with soiled debris everywhere? So right here, 7:06, 7:07, this gap right here. And when I say it's a gap, that's when the shit went down. Remember I told you it's only one woman's word about what happened and what transpired on this 717 phone call. Brian Drake is hearsay. Brian Drake is not here to say what transpired on that phone call. Okay. All I know is that Brian Drake was 100%. His phone was not at his table anymore. He picked up his phone and he was on the move. Look at 3027 6335. 644. Even look what was going on at 644. 3053. See? 3025. Picks it up. Moves it. 3019. 3027. 6355. Go ahead and do that one. I'll tell you where that will put you. Three zero six one. That's right out by his car. And let me do this. $7:17 in 7 seconds. His phone is literally sitting back where it's always been, okay, on his desk, just like you guys have seen this whole day, right? 3025, that's not consistent with being on the floor, right? Right? No, it's not. Unless his phone was on the floor all fucking day. So then we go to this, which is $7:17. Now here we go. 7:17 and 24 seconds. This is all going to be Jennifer Drake's phone. See that? And that's pinging. This phone is legit pinging at her address. Now, this is where it gets interesting. At 7:27 in 1 second, she's on the move. This phone is rather on the move. Being from, when I say it's in the backyard, she's in like the backyard, to now it's over a street, kind of over, and in the, it's like an L-shaped. But where's Mr. Brian? Oh, wait, here. 3065. So check this out. 7:27 in 16 seconds. He's supposed to be already incapacitated, but his phone is moving. 7:27 in 16 seconds. Remember, she said, it goes black and I can't talk to him and what have you. Then take a look at this. At 7:28 in 6 seconds, 3045 moves again. 7:28 in 6 seconds, 3047. Nothing. I mean, like when I say that, I mean like not his phone. We'll go back to what's going on with hers right here. 3047. 3047, still in the same spot that it was. 7:28 in 6 seconds. 7:46 in 18 seconds. 3047. Just so you guys know, this is outside the office, in case you guys gave a flying fuck. His phone was found allegedly next to him, laying on the floor. Oh, wait. 7:47 in 22 seconds? 686-4002. This is at 6821 Main Street. The fuck's his phone doing? Either this is not a dead man walking or somebody has his cell phone, right? Ooh, ooh, ooh. No. This is when they say they kicked in the door on the body cams. If they're, well, 654 is when they say they do that, but we won't get into all that today. Right here. How is his phone utilizing cell service at 7:57 and 23 seconds off of a different motherfucking tower? Y'all, hold on. I need a break. Hold on. I need a break. Wait, what did you say? What do you mean? Wait. Go back. I will. Where was that? Right there. Beautiful. Right there. Right here. See right here? See how it says 100? Or I mean 1,000? Let me tell you guys something about that. Every time Mr. Drake was utilizing his the cell towers, it was 2500. This is on a completely different cell tower, in my opinion, but we'll let the experts talk about it. At 7:57, 23 seconds, all day, whenever he's utilized a cell tower from his office. It's been 2500. So I'm just curious. Let's see what else we got here. 4002. Again, this would be almost by like the wood. This would almost be by like the glass shop next door. Okay. Again, he's supposed to be dead and incapacitated at 7:26. I believe that he was dead way before that, but whatever. Jennifer has to freak out over Lana. I mean, she should freak out over a lot of things, but let's see. What else do I have here? What time is that at? 7:57. I'll go with this one. Then 8:02 and 59 seconds. Right down here. Again, moves again. So this is at 6301. Again, utilizing a cell tower. So, Aldor, did you take that with you when you left? I mean, what are y'all doing here? Did you pass it off to somebody when you left? Whew. I don't know. But I will tell you this. Back out a little bit. So 48. See it? Like this is like all of her phone then. Then his comes into play again. 6301 and 818. You know why this is amazing? You do know that Brenner Drake texted his dad and said, "Love you, I love you," and the next one was like a shotgun text and it said, "Love you, Papa," but it was like in two separate ones. Remember how I told you the phone was tampered with, and somebody went ahead and opened up those, and it came through on the on the extraction with the Cellbrite. Well, here is proof, even like double proof. But at 8:18 and 7 seconds, and then another one at 8:18 and 15 seconds, 8:19 and 28 seconds, 6301, 6301, and then watch phone moves to where? How's that phone moving? At 8:19:44, that's when it was viewed, because the text messages has went through, and it was 3038, 3038. This is Jennifer getting on the move at 8:27, and she is now heading towards, whoever has this phone is now heading towards Bonner's Ferry. You're starting to get close to Amber's house. Now this is what's interesting to me. 8:51 and 30 seconds. Utilizing 2500 the cell. I've already started that, but 8:41. Again, this is Jennifer's phone heading towards Bonner's Ferry. $8:51, $8:53. Then you start getting, that's when she's making all those calls at like 8:56, 8:59, 9 o'clock, 9:01, 9:03, 9:03, 9:04. This is when she's on the phone with Marty. Marty Ryan called to tell her that her husband was dead. And this is where she does her turnaround. You know what's funny though? Is that where they turned around, there's a huge boat ramp there in a marina. So that could just be an anomaly, but whatever. I can just point it out that that's a motherfucking boat ramp right there. That y'all are hanging out for 6 minutes at a boat ramp. So again, I like to say that that's what the cell phone is doing, not what somebody's doing. That's what that phone is doing. This phone is traveling, and then it turns around. But where it decides to turn around is at a boat ramp. So I think that everybody should pay attention to that. They spend 6 minutes in this area. If you're off of 95, if you're just going to turn around, you would just literally get off of 95. There was where she decided to do this, and I believe, obviously Amber was with her. Not sure if there was actually somebody else that they were actually picking up that was coming from, maybe meeting them halfway, or somebody was getting dropped off. But if anybody's going to turn around, there was a post office right there. You would just get off, turn around in the post office, and then come back the other way. What they do here is, this is when she says that she's calling like hospitals, and I have the phone records. I'm going to put this up against it, but I just think that it's interesting that of all the places to turn around at, it was literally at the Coca-Cola over there they spent 6 minutes right outside of a boat ramp. So you want to talk about going and fishing and going and finding a gun? I'd fucking go right there. That's where I would go try to find this gun. Put a dive team in there, you fucks. Marty, why don't you go first? So again, he's the 48. So this is another thing that's just wild to me is that's his ID number, that's her ID number. And see 3038 3038 3038. It's stay in the same spot. Good old Marty. Time was that one at? All these papers over here. That's where I got that from. Well, this is ain't made up shit right here. This is 24 hours worth of research. Now, for the fun part of my night, I got some cool stuff for you guys. Let's hear some good old fashioned idiots. Ready? I destroyed my office today looking for a bunch of shit. Anyway, you slice it and dice it. I don't know how a dead man's phone is moving everywhere. I think that everybody should have a problem with that. And that's what you call tampering with motherfucking evidence. And who's doing it? Well, I can tell you that it's the fucking police. That's who's doing it. And everybody should have a fucking problem with that. Brandon Johnson, hopefully you keep your job. Marty Ryan already went early retirement. Let's see what I just got my latest results in. Cooney County Sheriff's Office said, you can have it, Lana. You can have report number 20-redaction. What were you asking for, Lana? I would like the 3/13/2020-1205 body cam dash cam of Officer D. Euler. And they said, holy shit, you can have it. I said, hell no way. Are you kidding me? You want to know what's on this puppy? You guys are about to find out. What else did I ask for? Kootenai County said, Lana, Sheriff's Office request. Here it is. Zoop. I said, I would like, from 5500 North Government Way, I would like the time cards and names of all the dispatchers who worked from 6 p.m. until 12 a.m. with 911 calls and non-emergency calls on that day. They said, you can have it. Another Kootenai County Sheriff's Office request. They said, I can have it. 20-redaction. I said, I would like from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. I would like all 911 calls and non-emergency calls associated with Amber Van Ling's cell phone number. I would also like all dispatch records and all police records and CAD notes associated with a call at 23:31 and 34 seconds on 3/12/2020. They said I can have it. Another request here to Kootenai County. Lana, what do you want? Again, I said, thank you for taking the time. I would like the incident involving on 3/13/2020 at 12:05 p.m. I would like the body cam and dash cam of Detective Sergeant Ken Layton of the Kootenai County Sheriff's Department. He has a body cam and dash cam that was supposed to be supplied, and I believe it is Brady for Dr. Daniel Lee Moore in report 20-redacted. And please reference my report. And I just fucking hit them with it. And they said, Lana, yep, that's going to be allowed. This was not put in discovery in a criminal investigation in a case where a man is facing murder. And I believe that everything on this body cam is exculpatory to Mr. Daniel Moore. And they had it. Marty Ryan had it. He was given it. Ken turned it in and over to Marty Ryan, and Marty Ryan buried it. Do some push-ups, Marty. Or why don't you just run along like you've been doing, you scared little bitch. Dan Moore, why don't you take one for the team? No, fuck you. You sound like a guilty little prick. So I'm going to press up on you. But Marty Ryan burying, and I mean, I don't know how dumb ISP is, but Marty Ryan was given the body cam and dash cam of two officers that went and interviewed Jennifer Drake, literally the first encounter with law enforcement after her husband's murder. They don't think that they need this body cam, this dash cam. Fuck y'all, watch me. And they said, Lana, you can have it. I've been busy, so this is what I've been doing behind the scenes for I don't even know how many past fucking weeks and days. Proving more of the inept work, but this is Brady violation. This is total Brady, complete fucking Brady. Anyway, you slice and dice it. They knew what they were burying. I just don't know how the fuck you don't catch this as a defense attorney. I don't know how the fuck you don't catch this as ISP unless you in on the take. And I went as far as to do this type of digging. I want to know why Sergeant Mike Van Leuven was in Jennifer Drake's personal phone directory as far back as 2012 to 2014. When you get your reports back and your extractions on phones, it tells you when you have your contacts, when you store people's names, you store them in an order. And that's what like when you extract the data, it records when you actually put them in as a contact. And I want to know, how the fuck does Jennifer Drake have Mike Van Leuven's contact in all these years ago? Mike Van Leuven was the lead detective from ISP on this case. I told you I was going for the link and I was going to find it. And now what they're going to have to prove, because it's their case, is why somebody's phone who calls 911, you guys don't believe anybody that would ever tell you that the 911 call isn't going to show up on somebody's log or extraction. No, bitch, you either deleted it or you didn't make the call. That's what the fuck happened. You either didn't call from that line, from that phone. You're on the call. We have your call. Okay. But my question is if I was to call 911 right now, or if I call the non-emergency line, and let's say then I go ahead and call my friend and I merge her in and I have her do all the talking, but it's from my phone, who called 911? So if I do it right now, fuck it, let's try it right now. If I call 911, but before I call 911, let's say I have you on the phone, I do a merge call. After they pick it up, I just merge you and you do all the talking. Who's it going to link back to? I don't I don't know how inept, and I don't know how people can just accept the fact when someone tries to say to you, oh, it just must be Kootenai County can't fucking do it. Like they're just so sloppy. Excuse me? The fuck out of here. No, absolutely not. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. It's surveillance cameras. Because if we're going to do this, we're going to fucking do it. This goes out to all my camera lovers. Let me pull up a different thumb drive here. Let's see. Where you at? Enlarged. Oh, I think it's number 2. All right, let's take a look at this. All right, right there is, this is at, what do I have here? This is at 6:43 and 32 seconds. Okay, 6:40, like up here in the corner. So 6:43 because it was all off. What I find on the camera here is actually, I don't want to do this one. I want to do a different one. There's my sugar tits I have walking there. There she is. You guys can see her, right? There she is. So you got 6:32, okay? Now, oopsies. I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. All right, check this out. Check it out. This is the one I meant to do. Perfect. All right, this is at, you guys can see up here. It says 2028, but it's really the way this is operating here is it's not 8:28, it's 7:28 and 27 seconds, okay? So super dark out. See that right there? That car you can kind of see? That's going straight across there. Now, you see right there, up in the top, that car that's turning around. Ready? Up here. See that? See that little move? Okay. And then goes back there. Now, see this car coming out here? See it go slowly across like that? Again, this would be at 7:30. This is what they were trying to take a look right there. Let's go with this one. Now this is my nut right here. This is actually 6:52 and 43 seconds. Okay, I want you guys to take a look over here where the blue. Let's move in. Okay, now pay attention up to the top. You're gonna see this car turn around up here, right there. See this? How it does a 3-point turn? Backs up. See that right there? See that little fucker? See this little prick? See that car get out of there? That truck. Now watch this little fucker come out here, right there. See this? Watch. This is at 6:53. Here she comes. Now I want you to catch this though. Just getting the hell out of Dodge, right? So this is at 6:52. Watch all the way over here in the right-hand corner. Over here. Underneath like the number 43. Go down from like the green little looking bridge thing. Oopsies. Right here. You see that car just go speed across like that? Look at this. Look at this. Like black. Again. Here we go. Over here. Underneath like the 6, 7, 8. Watch over here. This little red. Right now. It speeds across there. And then we track it and we follow it. And it does this turn up here. Right there. It thought it missed the turn. Okay, so somebody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Because you could have just went down to Harrison there. And now here it comes. Now, I went ahead and I went back to the old doctor's phone movements. And that's 52, 42. And if we look at his phone and when it moves, it stays still for the longest time until 6:44 and 9 seconds, and then it moves his phone, which by all accounts, you would think that he would be, walking with it. And he goes to the outside area at 6:55. 6:55. This is the same time frame that this car is doing all this shit. Just so you guys know. Okay. Which you want to talk about putting something together for, a jury. This is what you do. All this shit happened way earlier. Again, it's not 7:53. This is off, y'all. Just trying to help you guys that this is off because of the time change. This is incorrect time. So yes, normal, it would be 7:52 and 44 seconds. But two people went to work like dipshits and they moved it forward 2 times because they didn't realize that somebody else did it. So it got bumped up 1 extra hour. So now when you put his phone records with this shit, let me show you one other thing. Let me go back to this is the time of this is from 6 6 p.m. to 7:12 p.m. And so again, 6 p.m. So I sat here and I watched a bunch of things that I wanted from this footage, and then this is the footage that I went ahead and enlarged stuff so that you guys could see what you saw. I want to show you guys something. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, take a look. Right there. Boom, gotcha, bitch. Right here. See, just a tad bit back. It says 1947, so it's really those 647. I want you guys to look all the way back over here in the corner where the green underneath is. I'm going to zoom in for you. Again, go ahead and look under the 40, 50, the ticker there. And hold on, I'll back up. All right, just pay attention right. Oh, that's too far back. Right here, you see a car coming? It's going to be a red car. I found that car on the Columbia Bank footage, and this is how I was able to determine that these were all synced correctly. That PT Cruiser was on my Columbia Bank footage. So I said, okay, now take a look in the back. I want you to pay attention to where's that PT Cruiser? Mm-hmm. Okay, here it comes. Here's a PT Cruiser, but I want you to look up over by the gas station, this right here. Right here, that pump. Right up above it here you're going to see the white ridge line come up over here, right above the pump, right there. It's coming from the left-hand side, so I catch it right here. If you look up, again, you're going to pay attention right up here at the top. You're going to see it. You're going to see it come from this, and it's going to go right across there. And it's right after the PT Red Cruiser goes. So the van leaves. Here's your red PT Cruiser. Okay. And I want you to look up by the stop sign where that street is across the street. Look at that back of that stop sign. PT Cruiser goes by, and then right after, you're going to see the white ridge line come right now. Look at that bitch. That's a ridge line. This is at 6:45 and 44 seconds, okay? And now watch what happens. The ridge line is going to make a right, and now it's going to come and go right into Dr. Drake's. You're going to see it right underneath the green. You're going to come all the way over here to the right-hand side of the screen, and right there. And now watch what it does. It's going to make a left. Let me tell you something about this car, or I should say SUV. It makes a left right after that car passes. It makes a left, and it slows down enough that it goes ahead and makes a right into the back of Dr. Drake's. How do I know this? Because I watched all the footage from the Columbia Bank, which is on the other side. So basically, I'm straddling Dr. Drake's building. This is a Liberty gas station. And on the other side of the building, on the same side that we're on right now, I have the Columbia bank footage. I've watched over 20 hours worth to find that ridgeline. That ridgeline is not findable, to the point that that ridgeline could not have left out of 95 going north or south at any point. Okay. That it either had to park back in one of those driveways back there. Okay. Or there is one really steep way out, and you have to truly know this area to be able to know that you can get out by going up this steep hill. But you'd have to know this area like crazy. Now let me show you something else. Again, this is all time frames that are around Dr. Drake between when I believe Eldora left or sat out there and waited and acted like she left, whatever the fuck you want to say. But her trying to extend his, life. We have eyewitnesses that literally say and describe Eldora's brother to a T. Dark skinned, looks like the guy that runs like the Liberty gas station. He refers to him as an Arab, actually, and he says that he's wearing all black, black bottoms, black top. He has like a gray vest, and he had a beanie on, and that's exactly what Dr. Drake's alleged last patient was, but it really wasn't his last patient. I don't think he ever saw him. He just happened to, he was there. But this is the exact description. How would Isaac Funderburg be able to describe that man? You don't see people like that with eyewitnesses to a T in the dark. Okay. Now let me pause this. I want to show you guys a different clip I'm going to zoom you way in now. Oh, let's see. No, not that one. I guess I can go with. All right, let's try this. Let me. I'm going to share a video with you guys that I made. All right, this is the back of Drake's building. This is his car. This is the next day. Now I want you to take a look at this vehicle. Let me back it up just a tad for you to see, like, there you go, that's a good angle. I want you to see the bottom lights. See those tinted windows? Tintos right there. Okay, now check this out. along the back. See the lights right there? Or the reflectors on the bottom portion there? Okay. When those are like, when a light's hitting it, it could possibly look like lights. Okay. Now, Dr. Drake had an alcohol level that was legally and, drunk if you were to get pulled over. DUI, what's it, 0.08? He was at a 0.08. Okay. I was determined to find where was this guy drinking, right? I don't buy it for a second that law enforcement was opening containers in his office and sniffing them. The fuck out of here. They labeled this guy as having all this alcohol in him before ever having like tox reports back. Like we're talking like just a couple days. And I'm like, how the fuck would they know anything like that without the report? This report didn't come back at all. So, they didn't confiscate anything that was in his office as far as the bottles that they claimed that had vodka in them that were actually water bottles. They needed to come up with a way to explain why Drake had 0.08, alcohol in his system. And they said that basically he was drinking all throughout the day. Okay. And I'm like, that's fine. You can say that, but you have to take the evidence in that proves that, like taking the water bottles that you tested and that tested positive for, Tito's or whatever. They didn't take in any of these bottles. So to me, you're hiding the true reason and how he was able to get a level of intoxication like that. Now check this out. All of this area right here, this is where Isaac Funderburg and his, at the time, fiance said that this is the fence line, okay? And that this person was coming back through here and walked through here to get to the other side. Now, take a look at that door right there. Look at that. It doesn't seem like it's like what the fuck, right? Who would leave that like that? Those are all locked for storage, but this looks like it's been fucked with. Nothing to see here, I guess. Isaac Funderburg mentions in his interview that there was a picnic table. I want to know how he knew that there was a picnic table back here. How would he know that? Okay. Unless you were an avid person that comes back here, right? I mean, come on. Now, myself and Bella, we were determined to see what you can actually see from the porch of Funderburg's, residence. Because I don't believe that you could see anything back here when standing across the street, because the building blocks it. Now, this is the drive-through. Right here's the coffee drive-through, okay? Look at how this is really tight, actually, okay? And Isaac says that he just shot right across the street and came right through here after he heard the gunshots looking, trying to chase down this man, okay? Well, motherfucker, if you would have done all that at the time that of everything, y'all would have found the motherfucker. What they, I think, were responding to and hearing was actually the second shot. They heard the second shot, which was to make it seem like the doctor got shot through the window. So from inside, I believe that this was shot out. And I'm going to show you why I believe that. Let's take a look right here. This is why. Here's the window that they say that somebody just decided to walk by and shoot through. Okay. And that they were able to nail Drake. Okay. And this is how he died. Now take a look at that. Double pane. Right there. You see how the glass is on the outside? See that? See that? I believe that this happened. This shot was taken from the inside out. See that right there? Now check this out. I believe that Caleb Kakoa or whoever was in there that, shot this out because that was going to be the narrative, right? I'm not necessarily saying it was Caleb Kakoa, but the police were the ones that pushed the narrative of the whole that he was shot through a window just as much as Jennifer Drake did. Because Jennifer Drake said that my husband said that he was shot through a window. Well, guess what? He could never say that if it didn't happen. There's no way that Brian Drake on the phone at 7:17 and you're on the phone with him until 7:27, right? 7:26. And that this man is going to tell you that he got shot through a window when he didn't get shot through a window. How would you know that a window was shot out? How would Jennifer Drake ever know that unless she was there or knew the plan? All these dogs barking. Don't there be a lot of dogs barking with some gunshots going off? All right, so this is where they say.
Dora Gatchel, who's right there at the very top.
Did we get the spelling?
No, so that's
Brian,
actually Eldora.
She's going to help you with the spelling.
Yeah, Eldora at the top, that's one word, and it's actually Gatchel. And she's the last one who saw him before he was shot. Yeah, okay, you knew that.
No,
Now,
we're assuming that that's.
No, I know that to be a fact.
Okay, how is it that you know that?
Well, for one, I called him at like 6:30, 6:40, and he said, can I call you right back? I heard two voices in the background because I heard him talking. And so I said, oh, are you still with patients? He said, I'm running a little late, so can I call you right back? So,
what voices in the background? Were they male voices or female voices?
I couldn't remember, but I can tell you how I know who it was, because then Eldora called me 2 days ago. She texted and said, please call me. I heard a rumor and surely it's not true. So when I called her back, of course, she was mortified and she said, I was the last one to see him. And I said, what time were you there? And she said, I was there at like 6:40, 6:45.
6:40, 6:45. Boom. Well, that's funny because Eldora said she didn't leave until like, I don't know, 7:15, 7:20. Oh, snappy poo. 6:40, 6:45 is exactly what I'm talking about. You got to find the right interviews.
And she said it was me and my husband. And
Eldora was not there with her husband. Eldora was not there with her husband. Eldora was there with her brother, who was playing the fucking ukulele. And she was recording it.
she said,
What's Eldora's husband's name?
I actually forget.
I don't know how she forgot that, because guess what Jennifer Drake put in her fucking phone? When she took Eldora's name back in the day to enter it into her contacts, she put in under the notes in her phone that Eldora's husband's name was David. She also calls Brenner, the blessed. She also refers to her husband as ICE, ICE. I catch everything like an STD.
I've talked with her so many times, and I've only
This like these leaves and shit like that. This is exactly what was all over that man's back, man. It was soiled dirt, leaves, broken up, crumbled up. All right.
talked to her husband once, so I don't remember that.
Go ahead.
Anyway, she had said that she had just left him like 15, and I said, oh,
She cuts herself out there. She says that she had just left him like 15, and then she stops talking right there because she caught herself. I had just left him like 15. Right there, catch it again.
6:45, and she said it was me and my husband, and she said,
What's Eldora's husband's name?
I actually forget. I've talked with her so many times, and I've only talked to her husband once, so I don't remember that.
Go ahead.
Anyway, she had said that she had just left him like 15, and I said, oh, I actually said, are you guys?
She had just left him like 15. How would Eldora know that she just left him like 15 minutes ago? Well, because Jennifer and her talked, and she was like, oh, I was on the phone when it happened, when he was shot through the window. And so she backed herself up. You know, she's like, oh, when were you on the phone? Well, it happened at 7:26. You know, that's what she's telling everybody. And so if you back that up 7:26 and you back up 15 minutes, you know, she's like, oh, I was just, you know, with him like 15 minutes before that. Was it? Or was it 6:45, 6:44? I'm telling you guys, that's when his phone starts moving again to walk these motherfuckers out. Okay. The phone don't lie.
The ones that were in the background when I called, and she said, yes, you called, and he said, can I give you a call right back?
Okay.
So I know it was them. Now I brought that up to one of the, and they said that they had
That's the fence that everyone's talking about.
interviewed her.
Now, this is interesting to me. This is where she says, I brought this already up to somebody, and this is going to be in the Ken interview. This is going to be in the body cam. But she's under the impression that Eldora Gatchel has already been interviewed. Well, Eldora Gatchel has not been interviewed. This voiceover that I did, and to combine it with what I'm doing here, this was on 3/16/2020. The murder was 3/12/2020. Jennifer Drake was never truly like interviewed, ever interrogated. They never even they never even asked the broad what she did all fucking day. I mean, I seriously would like to know what Jennifer Drake did all fucking day. When I say that, I truly mean it, because she was having everybody else do everything for her that day. Can you have, you know, Brenner's picking up the kids allegedly from school. People are taking the kids to school. Other people are watching the kids after school. Kids are going to the Croc to go play their sports. Truly, what the fuck is Jennifer Drake doing? And she's spending every waking moment at the fucking park. It looks like she put her phone and attached it to her dog and let the dog fucking out and let the dog run around the neighborhood. That's what it looks like. It looks like she got some gadget off of Amazon and strapped it to her fucking dog, and the dog was running out in the fucking, you know, throughout the neighborhood all fucking day. Jennifer Drake looks like she's visiting the Baptist fucking church, the youth churches, but only there for like 2 seconds. I have no idea where Jennifer Drake thinks that she ate a lunch with her son. She wasn't in a place for more than, she's a fart in the wind the whole fucking day with her dog. No, you guys, I'm being serious. She's a stay-at-home mom, but doesn't do any of the things that a stay-at-home mom does. Like when you're the stay-at-home mom, like you cook, you clean, you go pick your kids up, you know, you're the soccer mom, you know what I'm saying? And that is just literally, I think that she might've been selling drugs out of the park. She was over there at Stockton Park. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe she was giving yoga classes out there. I don't fucking know. But what I do know is is that I have no idea why she wouldn't go watch her son speak at Lostology. I have no idea why she wouldn't pick up her kids. What the fuck was she doing all day? And guess what? Nobody to date has ever asked the broad that on the record. I can't even fucking believe it. How do you not ask the wife of a murdered husband where the fuck they were all day? That's what ISP has never asked this woman where the fuck she was all day. They didn't take her guns in. They didn't test her guns. They didn't serve a search warrant at her house. She owns the same gun that shot this guy. She owns one. Have you ever heard? So you want to talk about the ISP, the Idaho State Police Department, being in charge of the Idaho 4 investigation? This is what y'all are dealing with. Can you imagine Bethany and Dylan not be asked a damn question about where the hell they were? Jack D, we're not gonna. Well, it doesn't matter. We don't think he did it. I mean, why would he take out all? Why would he take out everybody? We're not hoodie guy. No, he. How do you not ask Idaho State Police took over this investigation immediately? Like they were called in. Like they left Brian Drake's body laying on the floor, bleeding out, and just laying there for over 24 hours. Okay. And this is what, wait, excuse me? No, she was in Hayden when she called 911. Really? Because where's that at? Well, what do you mean? Her phone was there. Oh, really? Because her phone didn't call 911, you fucking idiots. There's no record of her phone calling 911. So give me another one. Well, her phone shows that she was in Hayden all day. And your point is, because this is what y'all write in your stupid fucking search warrants. You say, I know that when someone's going to commit a crime, they will leave their phone at home when they go and commit the crime. Well, why wouldn't that work for her? When someone's going to go commit a crime, they'll leave their digital phone there. Mike Van Leuven bought a home, took out a second. Let's just say that his house went from being $245,000 to being $745,000 overnight.
We have people going right now today to interview her.
Oh, today?
Yes.
Oh, right here. We have people going to interview Aldora today. And she's like, wait, today? She's under the impression that Aldora's already been interviewed. You want to know why? Because Bobby Goad went there to go stroke it.
Somebody told me they'd already interviewed her.
We will do two.
Why wouldn't you ask her who told you that? Who told Jennifer Drake that somebody's already been there to interview them? And guess what she's going to be like? Because she just said, well, somebody told me that. Wouldn't you say that if it was Aldora, it was Aldora? Aldora had no problem running her mouth and saying, oh, Bobby Goad came out the next day to tell me all about it and just, excuse me? Tell you all about what? A crime scene? The last person to see Drake alive? This is who y'all think has everything under control in the Idaho 4 case? The Idaho State Police, who does all the forensic testing and shit? They didn't even test the water bottles that they said were full with vodka. They didn't even take them in for evidence. So how the fuck can you say that Brian Drake was drinking vodka out of water bottles? That is if I'm Jennifer Drake, I would sue the police department for running my man's name and character into the ground. He wasn't drinking vodka out of water bottles while seeing patients. There's no evidence of that. That's disgusting. What's to say after the workday he didn't go to the bar like a normal person and walk right across the street and have a couple drinks with the hot fucking blondes with a couple teeth missing in the town? If I'm Jennifer Drake, you're suing the wrong people. The police department and the state police department have royally fucked your husband's murder case the fuck up to the point that you're never going to get justice. That's who you should go after. And guess what? The county and the state have the money. You see all the millions they're getting? Go get yourself some, girl.
2 or 3 interviews of people. So that may very well have occurred that night, but I don't know.
You have to understand there's the
5 different divisions.
No, well, there's the Bonners Ferry.
Let me ask you guys a question. So, why in the world would Caleb Kakoa, or anybody for that matter, you can stay out in the behind the building, right? And you have a car. Why would anybody walk alongside the building and go up by the main road with all the lights on? Nobody would ever do that. Nobody would. No 8-year-old would even do that, okay? I don't buy it that they saw the guy, whoever they think that they saw over there. I'm telling you, at the time frame that they would have seen this, why would Caleb Kakoa Nazara be up along the side of the fence? Did he get turned around? His sister parked right behind the building, right? So I said to myself, well, that's interesting, because I don't think that he did. I think that Isaac Funderburg has the identification of Caleb Kakoa Nazara from actually driving through the drive-through like he says he did. Okay.
Police Department, the Boundary County Sheriff's Department, us.
But all of this right here that you're seeing, this is what was all over that man's back. How would this get all over his back when he was shot, in the back, up in an upward angle, not a downward angle? This is the stuff that was on his back. He was wrestled and then to the ground and then shot. Like, when you're so close to somebody and you shoot them, like, you guys all see that in the movies when somebody's so close to somebody and then a gunshot goes off.
The FBI Violent Crimes Task Force, we all have a hand in this. ISP is sort of leading this thing, but initially when this first happened, Bonners Ferry and Boundary County were out actively talking to people and making phone calls and trying to track down leads. So we're basically redoing all of that ourselves to make sure it's...
Oh, I see.
But you have the lead
check
in the
this out.
investigation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Okay.
What would be the odds that Eldora Gatchel decides to video record Brian Drake right before he was murdered? Look at this. This guy has a beard, his long goatee. He's got all black on in this gray vest. This is in a beanie on. This is exactly what the eyewitness said. And he's dark skinned. Look at this.
So
Look at this.
there might be another agency involved in the thing. We'll ask other agencies, the FBI, the DEA,
Look at
because we're going
this.
to use their federal resources to do a lot of things.
Border Patrol.
Oh yeah, and we've used Kootenai County dogs. We had dogs up there. We had a lot of.
They didn't have dogs. This is Gary Tolson you're hearing right here. Talk about dogs. Gary Tolson, put a dick in it. You are so fucking, you're lying. I don't know if you're lying or if you just don't know. I don't know if you have Alzheimer's. I don't know what the fuck you got, but there was no dogs up there. There was no dogs. And if there were dogs, where's the fucking reports of the dogs? This is insanity. This is blasphemy. Just kidding.
Manpower up there.
You didn't have no fucking manpower up here. You had Rich Alderson and Leslie, whatever the fuck her name is, doing God knows what. Didn't think to take any pictures of Isaac Funderburg's vehicle's tires. I mean, why didn't you guys go and get the Super One cameras when everybody said that's where they went? Or did y'all and you buried it? You buried some more Brady.
But Sergeant is the lead, and the Idaho State Police is the lead agency.
Look at this
point.
guy.
Okay. It's not going to go anywhere else. It's going to be with us, probably.
Look at this.
99% of the time.
Okay. And I can tell you that is Lowell Graber, B-E-R.
Where?
Okay.
Sorry, just
Look at Hobblong. Here's Brian, poor thing. He's coming right out here, hobbling along. Okay. Bless his heart. The man was being literally stalked by his own wife. She had him on Life 360. She had him on. The guy couldn't
Okay.
do anything.
And I can tell you that is Lowell Graber, B-E-R.
Where you got, where? Okay.
Sorry, just since you're looking at that.
Where's that?
Instead of grader, it's
Lowell
graber.
Where's that?
On 1545.
Yes,
if you're
it's
looking.
G-R-A-B-E-R.
Okay, who's this? Paul Jacobson?
Paul Jacobson?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
noticed he was here and here.
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know.
He doesn't ring a bell.
No. He has a lot of patients that I don't know.
Look at
A
this.
lot of them.
Has your husband ever talked about Paul Jacobson?
Literally, this dude will be dead in just minutes after this video is taken.
Cohen, Rachel Cohen.
Nope.
And we don't have a paper on Paul Jacobson, and we need to talk to him, so that's another reason why we need to.
Oh, yeah,
get
that's
these.
a good point then.
So since we're talking about names and we're spelling names up here,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask on the prices
Here's Gary. Here's what's his name? Gary Tolson.
here.
Yes.
We have listed and we have noted here in some of his notes that
Look at beanie, black, and he's got the gray.
$50, $250, $100.
So he charges $50 an adjustment, and then many times people will pay him for 5 adjustments.
So they'll go ahead and say, here's
so
5
they'll
adjustments,
say,
I'll
yes,
see you
and
next
he'll
week.
put it on his records, and then that they don't have to pay every time.
How does,
you know what I mean? They
how,
just
does,
come in and
how does he keep track of that in here?
he has it on. It's not in here. He always keeps track of who owes him,
Is it in the black book?
but it should be in. Let me think through that.
We haven't gone through any of this, but
I remember even asking. He's like, "Oh, I got track. You didn't see any little travel cards."
All the new patient intake forms, anybody that was a new patient of Brian Drake, first of all, he blocked off 2 slots, not just one. So it would be like a 30-minute block off. The only person that was scheduled to be seen by Brian Drake was Eldora Gatchel at 6 p.m., not Eldora Gatchel. And then under that was Caleb Kakoa Nazara. Nor did he ever write that in after the fact. If in fact Brian would have ever worked on Caleb Kakoa Nazara, because Brian is all about his money and tracking it. Even if he was to give him like a freebie, he is still going to mark that down, because if he's going to do you a favor, he's going to make sure that he knows about it so that he can get a favor back from you. Also, if Eldora is paying for like a 5 bundle in advance, he is going to take that out of her 5 bundle. Nowhere on Brian Drake's schedule that day, where he writes everything down and everybody that he sees, is the name Caleb Kakoa Nazara. He never saw Caleb Kakoa. He did not work on him. He simply drove with his sister to this appointment. Okay. There may have been a misunderstanding and Brian didn't realize that, oh, I didn't know that that's what you meant. You know, when she would text it, oh, me and my bro are going to come, you know. But at the end of the day, he never saw this man. How do I know that? Because he never had him fill out a new patient intake form sheet. And he always takes 30 minutes with new patients. So it would have been 30 minutes with him just flat off the back. He would have wrote it down. He would have put the dollar amount next to it like he always does. And none of that happened. And you don't think that the cops, they're asking her these questions, okay? And they go through all of this. And when he would have looked at that day, why didn't these fucking 20 and 30-year veteran cops, detectives say, well, why wasn't Caleb written down? Like an eighth grader can fucking realize that. What the fuck are these detectives doing? This man never saw Brian Drake. Brian Drake never put it down. And you know what? I want to see some damn proof that Eldora even paid her fucking money that day, or that her credit card was wrong. So get get bent. These cops royally piss me off.
Some of the handwriting
They would keep track of
spelling might be a little off.
on these, like it's not anything on these. There's nothing already on
I was
those
hoping you'd
videos,
help us.
though. Well, now I'm trying to think, because I haven't been doing it now for quite a while.
So here's one.
Yeah, so
Nelson
usually they would,
Comergy.
paid 250, paid
Okay.
250.
So that's how he keeps track.
Yeah,
Got
and he
it.
knows his system,
Got
and
it.
he knows whether or not they pay him or not.
What is this?
Those
This black pouch.
I've asked him to always keep receipts. I'm a receipt Nazi, and so those are deposits for like years. I don't even know how long. I just
For like
didn't
years.
want him to throw them away, and he just said he would keep them for me.
Okay.
So we also
Your bank
noted
statements do that, honey. You don't
that-
need receipts anymore.
there's cash,
Yes, he
And
does
then-
cash and he does credit cards.
and he has a phone specifically set up to do credit cards?
Yeah, he has a personal phone and he has a business phone, just because
How far does the credit card reader go back, do you know?
I don't know, but everything goes through Pay Anywhere, so I could surely get files from them. I would think as far back
Pay
as you need
Anywhere?
to. It's called Pay Anywhere. That's the app.
Okay.
This shit makes me laugh.
Is there a request for?
Aldora's
Yes,
Honda
we're gonna
Pilot.
probably need to look at that portion of it unless.
Portion of it. Let's take a look. Is this Aldora's Pilot? This was right in front of the Columbia. Oh, this is right in front of the liquor store. Right there. Is that the Honda Pilot that Eldora Gatchel says that she was driving in? Again, you guys can be. There is no receipt for the lunch that Jennifer had. Right there. Roll that back. Right there. You see what that is right there? That's what you call. I want you guys to take a look at something. Boom. Back it up. Oh, God. Back. Where's that? Okay. Check it out. Pilot. Yes or no? Now, number 2. Ready? Check it out. Here is. Again, this was at 7:17 p.m. Right there. Do you know what that is, you guys? You want to see how crazy my eyes are? Right. Well, you see the rim on this tire. And boom. See how those are white rims, but the front is the front tire rim. It's rusted out. Okay, these are clearly like the not white, but silver, normal, aluminum, whatever. Okay. What are the fucking odds that I was able to catch at the same time that Eldora allegedly is in this pilot? This is what I believe Aaliyah Sandelin is in. Because, let me see. I'll show you the picture. When they went up to that street, did you see it a little bit? Right there. You guys can see it, but I'll give you a good pic. It's the car. The car with the old dark wheel. Yeah, it is. Yeah, wait till I show you. Here. I'll show you guys really quick. Oh, let me stop. Oh, share screen. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, there it is. Check it out. And share. Lana, you a beast. They both sides. Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good find now. There you go. Both of those are rusted out. There it is. And that is the vehicle that Isaac Funderburg was allegedly putting like a license on the car that he said. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but we'll get to that. Here we go. See right there? So you can see it right there? See right there? And then I found it there, but then I also found it within other photos taken by, so how could Isaac Funderburg hear anything if he's coming back and they're coming back from the store? Oh, because it happened before all that? Did it happen before all that? You get what I'm saying? Anyways, now continuing on. Let's see what else I found. Okay. Again, there's your Eldora Gatchel allegedly. This is at 7:17 and some change. This is when the call starts. Remember? There's the car. Then what do we got? Oh, I left that on so I could show it in the other videos. And look at this truck. You guys ready? You guys ain't ready for this. Do you see that truck right there? You guys see that truck? Brady everywhere you look. I know. Wait for it. Ready? So then one day I got bored and I said, let's take a look at something. I said, I know that the Drakes have to have more than one vehicle, right? And I said, I swear that truck looks so fucking familiar to me. See the running lights in the back. So I said, I know that car from somewhere. That's a Ford. It's totally a Ford. All right. And then I was like, oh my God, I got a cop car in the back. Wait for this cop car to come out. Look back there. Take a look. This cop car was waiting for these two vehicles to pass Eldora and then the truck, right? This footage, in my opinion, has been tampered with and paused and then time deleted. Again, I can show that, but here we go. I believe that right here is your cop cruiser that was waiting, and now he's gonna get on out. I pause it here for a second, then I press play again. Again, this is all at 7:17, 7:18. Here he comes. Then he moves. Look at him. And then it just like, I was like, wait a second. Back this. Look at this motherfucker. It has police written all over the side. And that's the back alley that leads right back. If you go back, if you keep backing up where that guy's coming from, you go back, it'll take you right to Drake's right here. Boom. He's watching. He sees that truck. So I rewinded all so I could show you guys how I did my work. All right. Now check this out. I even go one step further though, because I was like, I know that truck. I said, I know that Ford truck. So the guy left his lights on. That's part of his light. See, it doesn't like shut off like that light. If you're going to turn off your car, it would, no, that's a headlight. But boom, right there. They took away 3 seconds because when I rewound it, I was able to find it actually like arriving before that. And then they deleted 3 seconds from when I did the pilot. It was a big mess. And I was like, you guys are just, look at that, just appears. Get the fuck out of here. No, it appears slowly because it's pulling up and then it's waiting, and it's waiting for what I believe to be the truck passing. But there's the pilot, and see how it got cut out like that, those seconds. And then Eldora said how she thought there was like a truck that had its running lights on right there. Look at that. And that's a Ford. And then here she comes. And I went in slow-mo so I could show you guys. And here's where look at that. Look at that. Winner chicken dinner. And then I added on. So then I said to myself, okay, 7:17, 7:18, 7:19 in that ballpark. And if you add 48 minutes to that, I want to know where this car went. And did it make it anywhere near, let's say, a boat ramp? So again, I was rewinding it all to show you guys. And now I want to show you guys a truck that I think is the truck that was following the pilot out. So let's see how I want to do this. Let me go like this. And I'll end with this because it's a huge boom. It's a pretty big boom, I should say. Takes me a long time to find my little nuggets. But you're going for the truth, right? I'm going to use Hector for a couple of my slides. And then I'll end with a 52-second video. All right, so how I could prove that the lovely Idaho State Police thought that they should only extract one of the Life 360 datas. I said I had to figure out a way to prove this. Well, lo and behold, the day after the murder, Jennifer Drake decided to take a screenshot of her Life 360 app. You're going to say, no way, no, she didn't. And I'm going to say, yeah, she did. Let me go ahead and provide that with you. Boom, boom. So let's see. Hector, don't let me down. Nah. Let's see. Okay. You can't make this shit up, man. There you go. There you go. Jennifer Drake decided to take a screenshot of her and Brian's Life 360 app. So there you go. So where's her data? Thank you for doing that. Then I wanted to prove to myself that not only did Brenner Drake have a cell phone at the time of the murder, but that Jennifer Drake completely knew about it. Well, Jennifer Drake decides to keep when we want to talk about what Jennifer Drake does, Jennifer Drake keeps literally her mind on her money, and that's it. She has a detailed list of what her son owed her, and right here, phone bill monthly. He owed from he bought clothes at Hollister, Aeropostale. Yeah, right there. Not to mention his phone bill that he has to pay her monthly for. Now, call me crazy, but this is perjury. What a dipshit. Lana will find it, motherfuckers. Go ahead and take screenshots of your shit. And you want to lie about it, but this is her own personal notes to her son on what he owes. And this was right after the, November, the Thanksgiving holiday there. And by God, Brenner, you better pay your monthly phone bill. Now, also, what I went and found is that I want to know why the Drake's security system was not in the search warrants. The Drakes owned since June of 2019, they had an outdoor security camera, 1080p outdoor surveillance camera, and this was the shipping details on that item, and I have some video of that. And yet the detectives in this case felt the need to not go and get this. Have you lost your motherfucking minds? Okay. This is what you call Brady. Brady. Now, here's some more about that review. What else do we got here? Oh. We'll pass that. I'll leave some stuff for like the I'll leave some good stuff for like, can't blow my whole load on you guys tonight. Now, ready? Have you guys ever heard of such a thing where you can buy a car online? A 2008 Honda Odyssey EX. Have you guys ever heard of such a thing? In May of 2019, that you'd pay $5 online here for this posting for literally a car. Have you guys ever heard of such a thing? Well, by God, 2008 Honda Odyssey EX. Let's just go ahead and put this junker in our driveway. And let's go ahead and have that dope fiend drug dealer mechanic that we know. We're going to trade him some dope and let him fix our car. You guys, seriously, they went ahead and they bought this vehicle for $5. Now, I could have sworn Jennifer Drake told Tolson and Van Leuven that Brian did not have social media. Okay. And he did not have Facebook, and he was not hitting on anybody. Okay. Well, I'm just curious. That why is Bob Allen, you and Bob Allen aren't connected on Facebook. Maintenance planner. Is this the Brian Drake that played football for MC? Well, yes, it is. Well, that's funny. Why is Jennifer Drake the one that's getting the notifications? I can only imagine that they had a shared account. Maybe it was Jennifer and Brian's shared account. But anyway, you want to slice and dice it. Bob Allen, he seems to think that he was reaching out to Brian Drake. And the response was, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Sorry, that got cut off. Yes, it is. Well, what else do we got here in this bag of tricks? Jennifer Drake decided to take a screenshot of her text messages between herself and her husband at some point on 3/13, because here it said that the last text message that he read was at 5:45. Okay. Now, what else do I have? Let's see. I think I'll go to my video, and then I will go to, I have a special guest. Her name is Lacey Savage. We're going to get savage with it. So let me get you guys. I've been doing lots of work here. And okay, here it is. You have to be very careful over here, okay? All right, welcome to the stage, Lacey Savage. She's going to get savage with it. Lacey Savage had an experience with Mr. Brian Drake, where he was smacking her ass and groping her while she was at work. And she's going to tell us all about it. So I wanted to bring the tea to you guys tonight. Tuesday, bring in the tea. All right, so if you guys aren't into smacking asses and working, well, then you're just not trying to have fun. The best part about it was that he said he forgot. He thought he was smacking his wife's ass. That's a fucking dude. See, I would love to have drank and partied with Brian Drake, because that's you just gotta laugh at that one. So let's see what we got for you. Lacey's a good girl. She's a good girl. She's gonna bring it home. Again, this is for mature audiences only, please. And so, you want to talk about the game? Brian Drake was spitting. Take a listen. Grab the popcorn. Can I get some popcorn over there? I want some popcorn too. Here we go. She's about to get savage on everybody.
now?
Nope, just traveling.
Just traveling. Okay, well, good for you. Nice. And so you still hold an Idaho driver's license, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm still Idaho resident.
Okay, but you're living in Michigan?
She's at 2-7.
You're understanding why we're calling you and interviewing you by telephone is because we're investigating the death of Brian Drake.
Yes.
And were you aware that Brian Drake had been murdered?
Yes.
Okay. How'd you find out?
I found out through Dr. Elliott and then through Sarah, I don't know her new married name, because she was the front desk gal when I worked there.
Oh, okay. And worked where?
At River City Chiropractic, and I believe she found out through Facebook.
Okay. How long did you work at River City Chiropractic?
I was there, gosh, you guys, because it's been a while.
Sure.
I think I left there in, let me think, I think I left in 2000. Uh, 13 maybe, or 14.
A little while, yeah.
I worked there for a couple of years, and then I moved to Alaska, and then I came back and worked for another year. So
So it'd be fair to say you started in 2011? About?
I believe so.
Okay.
11 or 12, yeah, and then I worked there a couple of years.
So what was your position and what were you hired as?
I was a chiropractic assistant for Dr. Crawford and Dr. Elliott.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you do as a chiropractic assistant. What was your job responsibility?
When a new patient would come in, I would do their exam and their x-rays, and then do re-exam, and then when the doctors would do adjustments, and then they would send them to me to go over their at-home exercises with the patients, and then do like the muscle stim units on them.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to chiropractic before, so I'm kind of aware of those little things they put on you, and just gives a pulsating. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I'm actually doing that now because I have had shoulder surgery, so I'm doing physical therapy, and at the end of the sessions, they ice it and put that stuff on it. So.
Dr. Elliott adjusted me over Dr. Crawford, but I watched them perform miracles. You guys should definitely know get adjusted to them.
Well, I think I'm going to have to after this physical therapy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you in the office at River City, that was, you said Dr. Tell me her name again. The other doctor.
Sarah
Elliott.
Dr. Elliott and Dr. Crawford. So I mainly worked most of Dr. Elliott and I assisted him the most over Dr. Crawford. And then Dr. Drake came in, but I wasn't his assistant at all. He was just at the office.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about Dr. Drake. So how long was he at the office while you were there? Was he there a year, 2 years?
That I don't know. I don't know how long he was there because it was such a long time ago.
Okay.
So I was there for the whole time he worked there. From
Okay,
start to
okay.
finish, I was there.
So one of the main reasons we're talking to you is that you were at a location where Dr. Crawford and where Dr. Elliott and where Brian Drake worked, and they have told us some things about Dr. Drake, positive and negatives, and so we're looking to find out what would be a cause of why someone would kill Dr. Drake. In a letter to us from Dr. Crawford, he indicated several things. One was a financial thing, that Dr. Drake owed him some money. I'm not sure how he got along with Dr. Elliott because he doesn't mention Dr. Elliott. But he also mentioned that Drake was treating staff members, mentioning your name, Kim's name, type of thing.
Kim. Who's Kim?
He also mentions that well, he doesn't mention, he writes in the letter that Dr. Drake had slapped you on the butt. Did that occur?
Yeah, Dr. Drake was a really nice guy, but he had this very perverted, like the way he carried himself was very perverted. He always made me uncomfortable. I always told Dr. Drake or Dr. Crawford, Dr. Elliott about it, and one day he full on just like slapped my butt and was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I thought you were my wife. I'm sorry, that was just habit." You know, it's like, no.
Yeah.
And other than that, when you say perverted, uncomfortable.
Yeah, or like a lot of times I'd show up to work wearing like a coat and like a baseball hat early in the morning, and he'd always just be like, "Oh, I love a woman in a hat," and would just always say stuff to me like that when I'd walk in the morning, or like one time I was up on climbing up on the counter to get something off the top shelf, and he's like, something like, "Ooh, that's the perfect position." He's always saying really off the wall, highly inappropriate things to me.
Did he touch you in any other way besides slapping you on the butt? I mean, would he hug you? Would he rub your back?
He's the kind of guy that would like walk by and like grab your waist or give you like a little tickle side, or just inappropriate touching that wasn't necessary, but the butt grabbing thing was like the most he'd ever touched me. Because he didn't adjust me, like Dr. Elliott was always adjusting me, so I never got care from him.
Yeah. Besides the physical.
But he's just kind of a quirky guy. He's really nice, but just gave me kind of the creepy vibes.
Yeah. Besides the physical part of that, did he ever ask you out or anything like that? Did he ever, mention, hey, you'd like to go out or anything like that?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it was
How about other female staff? Kimberly's name was brought up.
I'm not sure their interactions at all. I believe she moved to the billing area while he was there and took over one of the other girls' positions. So she was in a back office, and I was out assisting. So her and I never really even seen each other much through the day, so I have no idea.
Right. But you never saw interaction between Dr. Drake and her?
No.
Okay. How about any other female staff?
No, nothing that comes to mind.
How about so when this stuff was happening with you? So would it happen like daily or every couple days when you were working? How many days a week did you work there?
5 days a week.
Okay. Was it happening on a regular basis?
I would say, it wasn't like a one-time deal. It was enough to be like, God, why are you doing that? Or you're really creeping me out. Or, and that's why I kept telling the doctors, like, God, Dr. Drake did this, or,
Why didn't they fire him?
What'd they tell you?
What?
What did the other doctors tell you when you told them about it?
It was just, Dr. Carr, it was just make him mad. I don't know if they ever confronted him or not about it. I don't know if they confronted him or not.
Why don't you ask them?
Did you ever tell Dr. Drake in person that, hey, knock it off?
Why are you asking her that?
I feel uncomfortable.
Might as well. They're there.
No, sadly, I should have. I was in my early 20s, and
oh, what a pig!
Yeah, no, I never did, and I wish I would have.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So, female patients. Did you ever see Dr. Drake's interaction with female patients?
These guys are fucking dogs.
Just like greeting them and bringing them into his room to adjust them, and then when they would leave. It was just, so no, I have no idea what went on behind closed doors. I didn't do any therapy or any stim units or anything on his patients. He did all care for his patients. He wasn't busy enough to need me as an assistant.
No, boom!
Okay.
He
And I was
wasn't-
hired, and I wasn't hired, or it wasn't part of my job description to help him at all.
Got it. Did you
Yeah.
ever,
He wasn't
did
busy
you ever
enough.
meet, Mrs. Drake, did she ever come in the office? Jennifer
Yes.
Drake? She
Yeah,
did.
sometimes they come in and the kids are, two of the kids, I think it was a little girl and a little boy, were pretty young.
Yeah.
Usually she has them with them.
Okay.
But she didn't come in a lot, but she did, you know, she's cute and very nice and always is nice to me.
Did you ever see anything, any interaction between, Jennifer Drake and her husband?
Did you tell her that her husband's a pig?
Might have thought, oh, that's kind of odd. I mean, where that's, maybe they got into an argument or something like that?
No.
Anything confrontational?
No, they always seem like she'd be bringing in lunch or a coffee or something, and they always seem smiling and like give each other like a hug, or they kept it professional since they're at his work, but it always seemed like a happy atmosphere for them.
And I know you said you weren't really working directly with Dr. Drake, but did you ever see like any patients that left the office that were mad or upset, that looked upset to you or anything like that?
No, nothing comes to mind.
Okay.
Because I feel like I would be aware of that, and I would be
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, like somebody leaves an office if they're upset about something, crying or angry or something, they left the office mad or something, or whatever, that's something, yeah, you probably notice.
Any other female staff you think we should talk to? Or former staff?
I'm trying to think if Sarah and Amanda worked there when he did, or if it switched to Sandy and another gal. Because like I said, I left for a while and then came back, so I can't remember which staff was there when he did.
Okay.
But I never got enough of a vibe like he was being inappropriate to anybody else, or I never seen him say, I don't remember any of the other girls ever saying, man, Dr. Drake did this to me, or said this to me, or, you know. I feel like if it was a big enough issue, Dr. Carver or Dr. Elliott would put a stop, or, you know, be like, absolutely not, you need to go, or something. It was only a few times to me, which is still inappropriate, but it was never enough that I thought he should leave the office, or he didn't make me that uncomfortable to be like, he should be here.
So when you left,
Making
what were the
excuses for this
conditions when
pig.
you left in 2013? Did you just quit, or what was the how'd that end?
You didn't quit, you dipshit.
Yep, I just had quit because I took a job up in Alaska. And then when my season was over, I loved working there so much I came back to work for a while, and then I left and went back to Alaska again.
Okay.
Alaska.
It was always a great office. I would work there again today. It was
Okay.
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So as far as like the doctors go, no one was ever angry at each other. It was always a great office environment. The doctors never butted heads with them. It didn't, you know, nothing like that. I don't feel like there was like a falling out or any bad behavior between the doctors, or, you know.
Sure. Gotcha.
In her young 20s, and he's just smacking it.
Do you have any questions for us or anything we can?
Why the fuck do she
Yes,
have questions
for
for
you.
you? Your guys' questions suck.
So you guys just have, there's no leads, any idea what happened?
Not at this time, no, not that we can talk about.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get a background on.
Get bent, Gary.
And find out, you know, why someone would do this, so. And
Yeah, to me, I'm absolutely shocked because he was always a nice guy, always in a good mood, always wanted to, you know, he was a great doctor, he wanted to help, he was happy, he was nice to the staff.
He was groping
Never
you.
really came into work in a crappy mood, or so. When I found out that he died and was especially shot out to his office, it blew my mind.
Yeah. So what when you first heard about it, what'd you think? I mean, because I know people, it runs through their mind like, you know, how he was killed, in what manner he was killed. Did you ever think about that? Like, anything come to mind that off the top of your head as to why he might have been killed? Or why
I just thought for him to be shot, and just a few instances with him like grabbing my butt or saying, you know, being kind of a perv to me, or just kind of like having that pervy vibe to me. I thought maybe he messed around with a patient or an office lady, or
Yeah.
For someone to get shot, something had to happen, and for it to be at his office, I just kind of was something with the patient went wrong or with the employee went wrong, but to be shot, that's
Yeah.
a
Understandable.
big deal, you know.
Yeah.
I just linked the information to it being at his office, so it had to be somebody that was tied to his office, but
Yeah.
that's all I thought, but it's so sad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we asked this to everybody, where were you on March 12th?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Jennifer, March 12th.
You didn't even ask Jennifer this.
Can I look at my journal really quick?
Sure, there's anything you need.
Where is
Hold on 1
Jennifer?
second. I write down what I do every day, so
Oh, good.
What a bunch of fucking liars, man. I just ass fucks. Liars. Fucking liars, man. You didn't even ask Jennifer.
I was at Trinity Hot Springs in Pine, Idaho.
Trinity Hot Springs. And you broke
In Pine, Idaho.
time.
No, Pine, you
Pine?
fuck.
Yep.
P-I-N-E?
Pine.
Like pine tree?
Pine like the tree.
Yeah. And where is Gary Tolson from? He's born and raised in Idaho, and he's, oh, wait a say, Time Tree? What? Gary Tolson needs to quit.
Gary Tolson.
God, I hope he gets called to the stand and Ann Taylor just fucking embarrasses him.
Probably not.
She's like, he's not even
Who
worth
were
my
you
time.
with?
Who were you with? You didn't even ask Jennifer Drake this. This woman was just fucking literally sexually harassed by this man, and you want to ask her who the fuck she was with, where she was.
And how many years ago?
Yeah, I just, what a fucking bunch of, these guys. They're the type that when you get raped, don't go to them. They're not going to believe you. What were you wearing when you got raped?
I was working there.
Oh, you're working there? Okay.
Yeah, I was working there.
Suckers. Don't put me on the stand.
All right. And a supervisor's name or anybody we could.
Nope.
What?
Supervisor, where's fucking Jennifer Drake?
Why are you
Dana
asking
Stream.
God.
Stream like the river. Do you want her book?
Do you stream like the river? What do you guys think? We can go ahead and stop it there. I mean, nothing more pretty much happens because,
Because they suck.
yeah. I mean, what a bunch of dipshits. Tools. Total fucking tools. Giving the good guys a bad name, man. Tolson and fucking Van Leuven, you guys get the award for the biggest fucking, I'm going to go ahead and say, jabronis. Jabronis. The two jabrones. Just absolutely, what a disservice.
I think most police officers would attest that messing up Miranda in 2020 is pretty tardy.
Yeah. Well, I wanted you guys to hear it first that Dr. Drake had no problem slapping early 20-year-olds' asses at the workplace multiple times and telling them that he would like to put them in positions where he could basically make them moan. So, I mean, you wonder why anybody would have, I guess you could say, like a vendetta against this guy. It could be that you say that type of stuff and do that type of things to the wrong people. I bet you some guys would be pissed. But I mean, I just want to know, I mean, that's some balls to do that at work. You know?
But he said you look like my wife. I mistook you for my wife or whatever. You know, like he was really smooth with his alibi. Always. Sorry, I mistook you for my wife there, kiddo. I mistook you for my daughter, kiddo. Sorry.
I mean, who says that? Oh man, sorry, I thought you were my wife.
I still feel bad for him because she was always hoarding his medicine.
Yeah, well, I have no idea. Anyways, oh. I was gonna call a wrap today. I'm just enjoying my popcorn. It's so good. Hope you guys go out and grab yours. But this, I mean, when y'all want to talk about the facts, all right, you heard this woman say it. He wasn't busy enough for him to need an assistant. Like, he did everything for his patients because he hardly had any patients. Now this Gary Tolson and Van Leuven say to themselves, oh man, yeah, Dr. Drake was just ringing in the... Dr. Drake stole all of his patients from Dr. Crawford, Dr. Elliott, then that Amy Sepulstra. Then he went, I mean, literally, he stole all of these patients. So much so that he, first of all, they left Austin because he was fucking a girl that was either at the office or his patient. He had to do a settlement with her. Then Jennifer Drake goes and signs up with Travis from Recovery Affair or whatever the fuck it's called. That's who I want to talk to. I want to talk to Travis, and I want to ask him, you know, what he does for a living, that a woman who claims to be in great, you know, health with her marriage would ever need a fair recovery specialist on speed dial, where she's telling the officers, my husband has never cheated on me. He's never had an affair. We are happily married. Well, yeah, because guess what? If you say anything other than that, then you're giving yourself, I guess, a motive as to why you'd want to kill the man. But everything's a lie. Their life is a lie. This persona is a lie of who they are, what they do.
In my opinion.
She's got some Shanann Watts in her.
Yeah, she's got social media, like how she presents herself on social media, you know, in my opinion only. And it isn't what it, you know, finances don't match or whatever type of thing.
Yeah, it's right in front of these officers' faces. They got the letters. Dr. Drake had to pay somebody off. It was all hush hush. And here's Jennifer saying, I have no idea what you're talking about. That never happened. That never happened. Meanwhile, it completely happened. Her sister is like spilling her guts. The interview that her sister does.
It was that sister's interview for me, you know.
Yeah, that Emily, was that her name?
Emily's,
Yeah, Emily's interview did it all for me. Emily's like, I don't know if my sister's living in like a box or something, because
she has a Pollyanna complex, is what she said about her.
yeah, it's like Brian was the nicest, sweetest guy. He made you feel like, you know, you're the only one in the room, and that's what the sister is saying about her brother-in-law. You know,
she even pretended.
Yeah, it's not normal. And anybody that's going to go out there and say that they had this normal relationship, they didn't. They lived a lie. He was addicted to porn, so much so that Jennifer made it so that he couldn't have Google on his phone because he was looking up porn. And it's just like, who gives a shit if you look up porn? Like, I bet you he really truly wasn't addicted to porn. He just, you know, who cares?
He probably just had a high sex drive. I mean, groping young women.
Yeah.
No, not okay.
I cannot believe that she used the word pervy. He's like pervy. He's a perv. Yeah. And I know that there's people watching this right now and they're thinking the same thing. And they're just too scared to say it, or they're just like, yeah, I don't want to ruffle fucking Jennifer's feathers.
Yeah. He's
you know,
passed away. Why speak ill of the dead? But the problem is it could lead to more in the investigation that maybe somebody was upset. If you know about somebody else that he messed around with and upset.
Maybe he was bending over Eldora.
Just kidding. He liked apparently like big boobs, right? Like he was like a boob man. That was his thing, right?
I think he you know, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why would you ever allow a man that you're married to live and sleep in a different place 2 nights out of the week, Mondays and Thursday nights,
If you don't
trust him? Yeah. I mean, have you lost your mind? And I'll tell you why. Because Bonner's Ferry is the only place he was making any money. Literally, he stole all those patients. He literally stole all of his patients, all these Mennonites. He stole all of the Mennonites from Dr. Crawford. And I mean, go look at his new patient intake forms, and I guarantee you, all of his patients, you know who helped him steal them too? Emma Field. You should be ashamed of yourself, woman. Fucking joke of a woman. Emma Fields helped Dr. Drake literally steal the Mennonite community and said, start up an office in Bonner's Ferry, because all the people in Bonner's Ferry were traveling to, the like Coeur d'Alene and like Sandpoint. So he just decided, okay, I'm going to steal all these people's patients. And that's exactly what he did. And so I laugh when people say that the reason that Dr. Moore killed him is because he was jealous of him or he was stealing his patients. All you need to do is look at the books and look at the numbers. Dr. Moore, hand over fist, is bending over Drake financially. Dr. Moore literally saw, we're talking like, I would say easily, this is a guy that's running like an actual office with office women at the front to greet you. There's a secretary, then there's STEM treatment. Yeah, there's STEM treatment. And, there's x-rays. He has different rooms to see different patients because there's a lot of things that are going on with post-care after the adjustment. Dr. Drake was a one-stop shop to literally come in and get like your back cracked. But literally, have you ever heard of you being in a doctor's office with it's only just you and the doctor? There's nobody else there. Do you understand what a liability that is? I would think about it, women. Think about it. What would you? If I walked into a place and I'm just thinking to myself, well, wow, it's like there's nobody here. And it's an intimate, like going and getting adjusted, like a doctor's gonna like, be on you, leaning on you, doing this, doing that. I'm telling you what, that's like, why would you ever want to put yourself into a situation to get sued? If you're a doctor, like, yeah, then it becomes he said, she said, and you're not going to win ever on that. He'd lose every time.
Apparently he's doing something all right because he didn't get sued for the last 10 years. So something's okay in that community to do that stuff.
Yeah. And it's just, you look at the numbers and you're just like, wait a second. Drake literally was canceling on his patients left and right, rescheduling them all the time. He had an injury every other fucking day. He had an emergency every other day. And wait for my next live when I talk about his, Dr. Drake was 100% being watched by the cops in his drugs. Okay. He was buying steroids. He had a drug dealer out of Naples, not out of Naples, Florida, like Naples, Idaho. He literally was using steroids mixed with painkillers and alcohol, and having these guys, specifically this one guy, driving the product over to his work. Dr. Drake would run outside, unlock his car, go back inside. Then the guy would drive over, get out of his car, and then load the goods in Dr. Drake's vehicle. So much so that towards the end there, he said, hey, you have a cop standing outside of your car. I can't leave this here. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know that. All right, well, Dr. Drake would need these pain pills so much so that he's like, all right, are you coming here? If not, then I'm going to drive out, out to, where you're at, because he has gaps in the middle of his day. This is not me making any of this shit up. These are in text messages that Dr. Drake or somebody for that matter deleted. This is fact. So we want to talk about who wanted to kill this man and what he was involved in. All right. The cops were crawling all over that building morning, noon, and night. Morning and night, period. And it was so much so that it was just like that on the day of the murder. Literally an hour before, 2 hours before that murder, cops crawling all over there. The sheriffs in their SUVs, the troopers in their little fucking Charger-like cars. They were circling. They were circling that building like sharks. And everybody wants to talk about how in the world did they come to literally bring charges upon a 60-year-old man that didn't even know this guy. Literally. And they said a gas leak led them to Dr. Moore because they thought that he tried to commit suicide. Van Leuven, you're a fat fuck. Fuck you. That's insane.
Well, it's a fact that there's more gas leaks in that town than there are fires. So
yeah, because they run a jackhammer on all those stupid sidewalks and they all blow each other's buildings up.
And that's according to the fire department there. That, you know, all they had to do was do their due diligence and they would have seen that that's something that happens there. So
well, and if you would have interviewed all the girls that worked at the office, they were complaining of headaches.
Yeah.
He didn't, oh my God, feel so guilty for shooting Drake that then he tried to kill himself with a gas leak. Are you kidding me? You want to talk about conspiracy theorists? That's y'all at the ISP. Because that's some whack shit, man. That's some whack shit. That is absolutely fucking crazy. Literally. The guy just buys his dream home with his wife, who they've been living in Bonner's Ferry. Okay? They don't come there just to use the community to milk y'all for your money, you know, run a business there, pay dirt cheap rent each month, and make the money. And then he's skimming Uncle Sam. He's only claiming that he makes $30,000 a year. How do you supporting a family of 6 on 30 grand? And then in a wrongful death suit, Jennifer Drake, I want to know how much you think that your wrongful death suit's worth if your husband was only clearing $30K a year. How much do you think you're going to be able to sue for? What, millions? Your husband wasn't worth millions.
Unless you're committing tax fraud.
Yeah, so let's talk about the tax fraud that's been being committed. And Jennifer Drake knew about that because she did the taxes. She was involved in that shit. She's a helicopter mom, man. All you guys that are cop callers out there, call the IRS, get them audited. I mean, I'm breaking down the set, man. I'm breaking down the doors and the walls, and it's nuts. And I don't know if Bonner's Ferry is living in a bubble. I don't know if Idaho's living in a bubble, but I'm telling y'all, what's going on in that community, in that area, is not just Bonner's Ferry, Moscow. These little towns, I'm sorry, but the cops are just telling you whatever you want, whatever they want to tell you, and they're just doing whatever they want. That's just what's happening. But you guys actually have a say. We, the people, have a say. None of these Cracker Jacks should have a fucking job. Marty Ryan is a waste. Do some push-ups, Marty, while you're popping Viagra. Sickos. Pervies. When she said that he was a pervy, I just couldn't even contain myself.
But that's what Emily also, what does she call it? She always called it something, she didn't say pervert. Remember the word she used? She used that special word, and then
I want to hear Emma Fields. I want to hear Emma Fields before I go to bed.
Emma Fields?
Yeah, I have Emma Fields. I have her. I interviewed Emma Fields.
You want to hear her before you go to bed?
Yeah,
I want to remember what
she's
Emma
the love
said.
of my life, Emma.
Ella, tell me what. I'm gonna look up what
Emma Fields. What can I do for you?
Perv.
She's just a little liar.
His perversions.
His perversions. I think it's all whack. Mm-hmm. But homeboy, Isaac Funderburg literally, I don't know if he was just handed, here, just tell him this is what the perp looks like, but literally just gives that, he just identifies him to a T.
Well, Emma will get a raise somewhere.
Who will? Emma?
Yeah.
I think isn't she her own boss? She's like a massage therapist.
No, like with the Mennonite gods, you know?
Oh, I don't even know how that works.
I don't either, but I know she's working towards that raise.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play my let's see. I gotta pull it. Here it goes. I'm gonna play my.
All right, today is March 16th, 2020. By my watch, it is 1947. I am Idaho State Police Detective Richard Alderson. With me,
Detective Leslie Lane. Emma Fields.
Those, if you wouldn't mind just telling us what you know of this incident.
I've known Brian Drake for many years. Actually, he ended up moving up here because of the clientele I have. The clientele that I have needed a special kind of a chiropractor, and he seemed to be it.
She stole all of Dr. Crawford's patients.
But working with.
She helped him.
Yeah, she helped him steal them.
Now that went out of my head. Down in Post Falls, he came up to Sandpoint, and then we twisted his arm, and he came up to Bonners Ferry. So he comes up to Bonners Ferry twice a week, and Sandpoint twice a week. And after I heard that he'd been shot, I called Jennifer, his wife.
No, she
And
called
I
you.
said, Jen, is this really what's happening? And she said yes. And she said she was talking on the phone with him. He had just watched his last client drive away. And he said, I'm just packing up my stuff and ready to walk out the door. I'll see you in a few minutes. And then she heard the gunshots. And he said, oh my God, I've been shot. And she was talking to him, and then she said she heard him hit the floor, and he wasn't answering, so she called the police and told them. And she said it sounded like they didn't really believe her, but they said, we'll go investigate. And then they hung up, and she called her mom and dad, and they immediately came to be with her.
Emma, you spoke on this literally right after the murders. If Jennifer told you any of this, truly, then Jennifer's told multiple versions of this, because this is not what she's sold the police at all. At all.
To Monastery twice a week.
Let's listen to that again.
And after I heard that he'd been shot, I called Jennifer, his wife. And I said, Jen, is this really what's happening? And she said yes. And she said she was talking on the phone with him. He had just watched his last client drive away. And he said, I'm just packing up my stuff and ready to walk out the door. I'll see you in a few minutes. And then she heard the gunshot.
He didn't say anything like that because he was spending the night there. He was not He was not going home. How can he see her in a couple minutes? Was she there? Emma, do you not know what you're speaking about, honey child? Like, truly think about that. He's not driving an hour and a half home. Remember, he spends the night on Monday nights and Thursday nights. He would not be telling her, and she would, oh, okay, I'm finishing up here, and I'm going to be heading out. See you in a few. Excuse me? No. He's spending the night. So, like, if Jennifer truly said this to you, Emma, then why aren't you literally now looking back at everything and saying, okay, yeah, wait, what? That's off. Because none of this is true.
And he said, oh my God, I've been shot. And she was talking to him, and then she said she heard him hit the floor.
and he wasn't answering, so she called the police and told them. And she said it sounded like they didn't really believe her, but they said, we'll go investigate. And then they hung up, and she called her mom and dad, and then they hung up, and but I know that, what can I think of his name? Stress. The other chiropractor? The chiropractor he was working for in Post Falls. Crawford. Thank you. Crawford, he left there because of some unethical practices that was going on.
Like
alcohol on Crawford's part. And
Alcohol in Crawford's part?
Jennifer was with him when he met with Crawford about leaving and opening a shop up here. Crawford tried to take him to court. Was very angry at him, taking away his patience.
Taking away his patience.
Cutting him under his patience, and that wasn't so. Brian didn't bring any of his patients with him. He started all fresh up here in Sandpoint. But once people went to Brian, it was such in their words, a more thorough and better treatment. They didn't bother driving all the way to Post Falls. So then after Brian got established up here, Crawford and his partner, Elliott, Scott Elliott and Scott Crawford, they came up to Sandpoint and opened up a place where they would come twice a month to Sandpoint and twice a month to Bonners Ferry. But a lot of the people quit going there because they would get them in. It was like herding cattle through, they said. And so that made Crawford very angry. And he told Brian, this is what Brian told me, he said that he got very angry at him and said, one day you'll pay for this. And so last summer when I was talking to Brian Drake, something had happened and that Crawford and Elliott no longer had enough patience to come here. And he stopped and talked to him, according to Brian Drake, that he said, you will pay for this. He left, very angry. And that was last summer? Yes. And so I know Jennifer knows all of that, and even more. I know Brian didn't just.
Scott Crawford immediately lawyered up, which I'm so glad that he did. That's what everybody should do out in this world. That does not mean that you're not cooperating, okay? But you go get a lawyer and you do everything through a lawyer. Otherwise, you will be the next Dr. Moore, okay? But they tried to talk to Crawford and, he said, you can talk to my attorney. And then they didn't try to talk to his attorney.
And then they didn't try to talk to his attorney.
Yeah, they did nothing. After hearing this, they're going to try to talk to Scott Crawford. He gets a lawyer and said, yeah, you can talk to my lawyer. And guess what? Ready? They didn't do shit. But here, you got this woman, you got all these people saying Brian Drake is literally stealing this motherfucker's patients. He started stealing them in 2015. Okay, it's 2020. COVID had, was just coming on. That's where this whole thing came up of this whole chiropractic thing. And who put this out there in the world was Jennifer Drake. Jennifer Drake put out this whole thing about a chiropractor being mad at him. She was the one that started this narrative. And this narrative, you can go jack off to it.
Discuss with me near what he would discuss with his wife. But because I was a healthcare professional that often referred clients and patients to him and him back to me and stuff, often it would get on the private end of what he was having to deal with Crawford and Elliott, especially with Crawford. And I do know that Crawford has been having a lot more trouble with alcohol. It's getting to be quite a problem for him.
Listen to this. Listen to
When
her.
this happened, I just thought, well, who else? So when this happened, I just thought, well, who else? So I don't think Crawford would do it, but I know that he has in the past got other people to do dirty work. And that was one of the reasons Brian left.
What?
And so,
Dirty work?
well,
What,
who else
what kind
would do such a thing to him?
of dirty work?
Can you elaborate on the dirty work?
I don't know, because that's all Brian would say.
Mm.
He said, no, he'd get other people to do his dirty work.
Do you know Scott Crawford?
Yes.
Ever met him?
Yes.
When was the last time you met him? Or, oh boy.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't been down to see him.
Mm-hmm. Moved along with patients.
Had anything to do with him because some things were happening with some of my other patients. He gave one of them a whiplash that she ended up having to go in and have surgery. And so I've probably been 5 years. I've had nothing to do with referring anybody down there or recommending anything. And there were several things that he hurt people, but that one lady, he really hurt her.
Oh my God. Everyone's just slandering the fuck out of each other.
So, do you have any, I don't know if you deal with legal stuff a lot, or, unfortunately, a lot of this was
That's right.
referred to as hearsay,
Yes.
so that makes it difficult. Do you know of any firsthand knowledge of Crawford's actions?
Jennifer would.
Okay.
Jennifer Drake.
Yes,
No.
and they did interview Miss Jennifer today as well. There were some other ones. Talking about Mr. Drake, you said you were friends with him. Can you tell us a little bit about his character and the dealings you had with him?
Mainly it was on a professional level, but him and his wife and myself and their kids have been really good friends. He's always been very professional. He's always been very courteous. I haven't ever heard of anybody having a problem with him not being courteous and thoughtful and kind and gentle, and yet this is, there was never any unethical things that he ever did or said with people.
Now, is your practice in Sandpoint or Bonners or?
I was the first massage therapist in Bonners which was hard because back in those days, there was a little parlor in the back and I didn't have the little parlor in the back. So
Happy
I
endings!
have, a small little office here, and I used to have a massage school until 2014, and I have an office in town, in Sandpoint.
Okay.
Oh shit! She's spilling the tea.
In regards to
Who was given happy endings?
Mr. Drake's reputation, were you aware of anything that would have led to somebody wanting to murder him outside of the tension with Dr. Crawford?
No.
No, really not.
Anywhere you think we should be looking
Lies.
besides Dr. Crawford?
I've been searching my mind about what could have happened, who could have, whatever. And I've called a lot of his patients to find out, hey, do you ever have any trouble with him? What happened? And they're all crying like I am.
Right. We have to establish also everybody we interview. Where were you Thursday night?
What a bunch of shit.
Nobody asked for
This past Thursday night.
Listen, I'll just tell you what my life story. It's in my book here.
Thursday night. Thursday all day, I was in Bonners Ferry or in Sandpoint working, and I was home on a Coast Guard auxiliary meeting.
Coast Guard?
Yeah, I'm in the Coast Guard auxiliary as well. And
What time was that?
the meeting was from about 5 to 7 until almost, it was about 4 to 9. Because with this coronavirus thing, we had to go on the line. Plus our commander was on vacation and he was out of state, so it worked out good.
Gotcha. Well, I can't think of anything else to clarify.
Of course you can't.
I will say before we turn the tape off that if anything else comes to mind, I will say that you're not the first person to mention Dr. Crawford. And so
down south. I'll be interviewing him in the next couple days.
Not a single person said anything about Dr.
Anything
Moore.
else comes to mind in terms of, something that you think would have led to murder. Usually that would be something in the arena of infidelity, it's drug use, gangs, extortion.
What?
No, Brian was so loyal to his wife. I tell you what, there are some women who are not ethical, and he just
I'll tell you what.
put a wall down, and he's actually denied service to a couple of women because they just wouldn't quit.
Right.
Oh!
So
What is she thinks? What is Emma thinking?
Oh my God!
Familiar with a lot of people in Bonners Ferry?
Emma, where are you getting this information?
The current tenants.
Emma, who is telling you this? Who is? Why don't you talk to Lacey, baby? Crazy, man. See? Just like, and how are these detectives, they can't see through this? I've been like, yeah, okay, I'd be saying that stuff too if I was getting kickbacks because of all the patients that I'm sending Brian. I guarantee Emma was getting them cutbacks. Anyways, that's gonna be a wrap here tonight. I don't even have words for this disgusting display of just
Disgusting stuff.
yeah, just like, I mean, everybody's over there. Either you're lying or you truly live in a fucking bubble.
Well, people confabulate all the time.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. But here, somebody was murdered, and I don't care, Brian, perv and all, Brian deserves justice. Somebody murdered this man, all right? Or if you think there was a plot, an assisted suicide, that's still on the table, because they were big scammers in the community. So yeah, that's definitely still on the table. If you thought that Brian Drake took one for the team so that his family could collect the mail. But this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this is them. We're going to go ask this woman where she was, but we're not going to ask Jennifer Drake what the hell she did and where she was. First time that Jennifer Drake had to say where she was when she made her 911 call was in 2023, when she decided to talk to the media in March of 2023. And she ran her mouth and got her ass in trouble. So anyways, I just can't even. But a lot more where that came from, because guess what? Got a little sneak peek for you, and we out. Next on the Brian Drake case, we will be discussing how, let's see what we got here.
Hey.
Oh, it's playing out there.
Hey.
Yeah.
No. Knock it off.
Let's see if this works. Let's see.
No, it's not. No. But I do remember running outside and looking around, like, what's going on? Isaac's looking around, he's like, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know where it's at. And then all of a sudden we see, the building where,
All right, guys. See you soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Brains, and if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.